should I live with Jersey Jerry? Or
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick poll of the room.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Say
Here's
like,
this. I'll set the scene for what it is.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Extra Dosing. Whenever the cats are away, the mice will play, and boy, are we playing today. Here, Billy in the studio with Ultimate Avengers squad that I put together, and I am so pumped for this Extra Dosing. We have Donnie in the studio.
what's up?
Mad Dog, as always, and Mackenzie.
Hello.
Thank you guys for doing some extra work so we can have some extra fun. And the newest Extra Dosing members, we got Jack Mac. You may know him from TikTok. He has, I think, the most views at the company.
Number two behind Portnoy.
Yeah. Well,
Respect the boss.
respect the boss,
Yeah,
but,
he's
Wow.
but
Donnie's right.
Yeah.
Jack Mac, number 2 views at the company. That's an understatement. Content machine. We have Jake Malasek. He is a behind-the-scenes guy on the sports book.
About to be Jersey Jerry's.
About to be Jersey
Oh, yeah.
Jerry's, yeah. And we have Travi. You may know some of his work from the main page. Another guy who hides behind the stools and stars, but he's one of the important
You make
cogs
it
in
seem
the
like that's a
machine.
bad thing. There's
No,
a
no,
lot.
I'm not. No, I'm not saying, but like, just like some unknown guys who I think need a platform.
He's a behind-the-scenes guy. He's not hiding behind.
Yeah, he's not hiding.
Yeah.
I said that bad, but we're riffing.
You may
Yeah,
remember him
and-
from Travis for the Boys.
Travis for the boys, yeah.
Yes. And all three of them will be sharing one mic.
Yeah.
So you may not hear some of them a lot, but they are here.
But yeah, I'm feeling like platforming some people, so we're platforming. A lot of deplatformers. I'm a platformer.
Nice.
So originally, Mad Dog wanted to talk about a Christian family which had a bunch of kids, and then the oldest boy just started molesting all the little girls. And I was like, I don't really want to spend 2 hours talking about it.
I'm going to make us do an episode on it.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
What was it exactly? Wait, what were they called again? The Duggars?
The Duggars.
Yeah.
That's
Shiny-
not the proper way to describe the Duggars.
No.
The Duggars is a lot more interesting than just somebody with a bunch of kids, and then the Duggars are.
The Duggars are a
You
national
could do a
phenomenon.
definitely an episode on it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
buried the lead. I've never heard somebody Duggar bury the lead on the Duggars like that in my
How
life.
did you not know their name? Like
Yeah. Well, what? They had a bunch of kids.
18 kids and counting.
18 kids and counting.
19.
Not even the most, like, but the thing is, like, in historical context, 18 kids is not that much.
It is. It's a lot.
What?
Like, there's a dude in, I'm pretty sure, the Democratic Republic of
No.
Congo with like 100 kids right now.
No, you are right. If there's something that civilized countries don't do well,
Mhm.
is they get to a point where they stop having as much kids.
Yeah.
And then as like parts of the world start having a lot more kids, and that's how parts of the world have a lot more population. Americans don't have as many kids as people in the Middle East for an
and
example.
The population of Europe is declining. The population of Japan is going way down.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the Middle East, I mean, it's much more in the culture to have 8, 9, 10 kids.
Yeah. And they have more wives.
Well, that is also
Some
another thing.
respects.
That helps a lot.
Yo, let me look up this dude with guy with there's this guy with 50 wives. And
Wait,
he
but
has,
did
like,
you see the
300
guy
kids.
who was on he was on FaceTime or something, or maybe it's Instagram Live, and he said he has 25 baby mamas
Oh.
and then like 47 kids. I'll find him, but he went viral recently.
Yeah.
And like, it is true that like a significant portion of the world's population is related to Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Just because, like, at first I thought that was a myth, but no, I'm pretty sure that's real shit.
It wasn't the Democratic Republic of Congo. It was Uganda. Ugandan man with 102 children, 12 wives admit he has been irresponsible.
Well, in like Uganda, it's illegal to be gay. So,
Yeah. They're all in a contest who can be.
yeah, to be like, yeah, I'm clearly not gay.
I have 102 reasons why I'm not gay.
Yes.
I saw a video of, I sent it to my friend. It was in, Uganda. Did you see the 100 students who they went out after the parliament? Yeah, they went to thank the House and president for signing the Homosexuality Act, and the 100 college students came and started chanting, "We don't want your pro-gay money. We want and love our country more than money."
Yeah, I think there's been a bunch of country.
Wait, so they were protesting in support of the anti?
Yeah, I should have
homosexual
said
bill?
protest. They just came in. They were just.
They
in
were
support.
hyping up.
They were, yeah. Normally, it's
They were dancing like
college
look, it's
kids
the
like
party.
are at the forefront of gay rights, but
Not
now
in
they-
Uganda. They were.
Okay,
They're rallying.
it was an anti-gay rally.
No, there's a bunch of countries, and I think this is China, because basically there's this movement amongst a lot of these countries that have been taking U.S. aid that are like, the U.S. is just paying us to pass pro LGBT laws, but like China just gives us the money and builds us roads and doesn't ask us to change our lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That whole juxtaposition, the bipolar world is now, U.S. values versus China, and China's just like building roads.
China's just like, we're gonna build a port in your country,
Yeah.
and we have full control of that port.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much
Yeah, but then
a
they
part
buy
of
all
China.
the land.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's China's world. China's land.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
start with the roads, and
they're
then
not gonna impose their values on you.
Yeah.
But I'm
that-
sure their ultimate plan would be right.
But that line of thinking and sort of I almost want to say it's like a disinformation campaign that the Chinese are paying in certain countries to get them to be more sympathetic to China than the US, by saying like, oh, the US is just paying you to, make your kids gay type thing. But in reality, the Chinese are trying to like, expand their sphere of
Putin
influence.
pushes that narrative a lot too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the playbook for them, to be like, to try to sway countries to be more sympathetic to China than the US. But like, the US does invest in infrastructure. The difference is that they pay, local companies to build the stuff. Instead, the Chinese bring all their engineers and all their, labor to
Yeah.
build it. And then, the countries don't actually benefit from, the jobs. They
Mhm.
get the ports, they get the roads, but they don't get like the experience, the salaries paid to the local population.
China has like their own towns in Africa with their own security forces and stuff. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was reading this whole article about how, because China is so populated, a lot of young people are moving and, colonizing basically different parts of the world, that they're setting up, that there's different types of work projects. So there's like a lot of like Chinese settlements.
Is
in
it
Africa.
because China, there's so much, because it's such a huge land plot, but is there so much parts of the land that are inhabitable?
Yeah, the whole like the Xinjiang area and Tibet is not as like farmable at least.
It's
But
kind of desert,
It's
right?
in Mongolia.
yeah, they also have the Gobi Desert that like goes towards Mongolia, I think.
Mongolia, 98% or something population lives in a very small.
Oh yeah, Mongolia is the least densely populated place on Earth.
Yeah, it's the
Ulaanbaatar.
entire population of Mongolia, pretty big country.
Yeah.
It's like very small, and it's, I guess, maybe the inhabitable aspect.
Yeah. Mongolia is just like a sea of fields.
You can see
But,
how,
like,
back in the day, they
steppes.
were just the toughest fucking people on earth.
They still are.
Yeah.
Now they just don't. They
They
don't.
used to, when they were like riding their horse through the desert, they would drink the horse's blood because that would hydrate them.
Jesus.
They would just nick a little like cut in its neck and then suck out the blood for water.
That is metal as fuck.
Did you
Have
see the
guys-
guy on Twitter talking about like you shouldn't wear glasses because like outside?
Because it burns your retinas? or
No, because if you wear glasses, it will make your eyes worse.
Sunglasses or eyeglasses?
I think general, just none. And
Oh, what if you?
and then he got
can't
community
see?
noted. His name's
Not
Soul.
Billy. He's 2010.
something? Yeah, but I got,
it went viral. This guy is awesome. Wearing
about
glasses
contacts?
is like wearing training wheels.
so you're.
what?
No,
no, I like this line of thinking.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You get softer if you wear glasses.
And he says over time your eyes become weaker because they have to work less. Vision gets even worse. You can improve your vision through various natural methods. Don't think you have to rely on glasses contacts forever. This got 2.1 million views. If you stare at, or then he continues on, but yeah, he's natural vision movement he's pushing.
So I'd agree with him, but these baby blues don't tolerate the bright lights too well.
I
my
haven't wore sunglasses in 2 years, and I'm almost 100%.
Perfect vision.
No, I'm almost 100. I used to wear sunglasses all the time. I don't wear them anymore, and I'm perfect in the sun these days.
That's so
I
bad
love,
for your eyes,
but like
though, I feel like.
I feel like it is, like, I like wearing sunglasses because it hurts my eyes if I don't.
No, but you get used to it. You're weak.
I could imagine. I know I am weak. I totally. But then you can't be cool.
That's also
Yeah,
true.
that's
What do you
Like-
think about Andrew Huberman? Think
Uh,
he's a psyop?
I think Andrew Huberman does have some great, like his philosophy towards health and mental health. I think is way healthier.
He could be a
than the
psyop, though.
But what do you think his angle is?
I'm not sure. That's why I was just like putting it out there.
I think he's definitely his views on health are antithetical to like the insurance-based health
is
system
true.
we have. Because like he's like, yo, get healthy. Like he's not all about these like just treat the symptoms and just band-aid everything. He's like about functional medicine, like, you know, get healthy, like lift, like
Vitamin D.
yeah.
Well, his big thing is like you wake up.
So
in the
he's
morning.
like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. He's
He
Okay.
got
insane.
big after going on Joe Rogan. His
Okay.
podcast is massive now.
I take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D every day, and turns out that's way too much. But I think
Why
it
don't you
makes
just go outside?
No, because I think it helps. Like I don't know. I just feel like it makes my brain better. It just
Why don't you go
better.
outside though?
I go outside too.
But then you don't get the sun in your retinas because you were wearing eyeglasses. That's
No,
right.
I don't always wear eyeglasses.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only wearing eyeglasses like, when I go to the beach or something. Like I'm not wearing them every day.
I want to start the anti-sunglasses movement. I'm
That
over them.
Seems like a jab at me.
Well, that's
Yeah,
there are purposes for them, but I'm going anti. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I've obviously been known to wear shades a lot, but the only time that my eyes have actually like hurt from not wearing shades was when I was doing the trek up to Everest base camp.
that
Just
would
because
make sense.
it's like it's so white
Oh yeah,
and the sun is just so glaring right there. So like everywhere you look, it's just reflecting back into your eyes. Other than that, it's like I'm cool with some sun in my eyes.
But I'm trying to avoid crow's feet, frown lines. You know what I'm saying?
That's
from
another
squinting.
thing, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Malasek, you already have some.
Feet?
Jeez, don't
that's
call him
not-
out
That
like
was wild.
That's not from like sun exposure though.
No,
That's just from
He just-
smiling
From
a lot.
smiling.
Yeah,
no,
it's from
no, no,
smiling.
He's a happy guy.
Malasek just looked at me weird and furrowed his brow, and I was
But
like,
you,
"Oh
like-
my god!"
You being like, I don't want to go in the sun to avoid crow's feet is
Yeah.
not. That doesn't make any sense.
No, just because like I don't know, I'm always squinting like George Bush when I'm not wearing sunglasses.
I feel
You know
like
what
a
I'm saying?
squint doesn't really cause crow's feet as
No,
much
I'm
as
not.
a smile.
I'm like a furrow. Crow's feet's the wrong word. Just like
What's
wrinkles.
a crow's
Okay.
feet? What's
Crow-
crow's,
crow's
feet?
feet are
Little
in the
lines
corner of your
around
eyes.
your
Yeah.
eye corners here.
Do I have
When
them?
you smile a bunch, like old women and old men, I guess, have crow's feet because their skin is so old. They're
Yeah.
using it so much. They
Do I have them?
No. Like I'll Google
But
it.
don't people like not want to react because they don't want the wrinkles on their forehead? That's
Yeah,
what
that's
Botox.
what- that's what
comes
I'm
from,
talking
right?
about.
hmm
Botox turns out makes you socially awkward because you can't tell people like
Yes.
don't react to you well because they can't
Oh,
tell your
yeah.
facial expressions.
Yeah, I had a friend who was a plastic surgeon, and
Uh-huh.
he came over to my house with one of his buddies, and it was clear that this guy had just been pumping him full of Botox for the last like 2 years.
There was a
'Cause
guy.
he even offered it to me. He's like, if you ever want it, like, just I'll come over and shoot you up.
There was a guy that.
I'd rather just
That's
get
awesome.
old.
There was a guy that did the Golden Knights NHL. It started the game. You know how they did the guy before it. He's some star, but his face legit was
move.
it wouldn't move.
Frozen. He's like cranking this like horn prior to the game, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he's clearly smiling, but like there's no movement in the cheeks or the eyes. It's just like he's just going like a normal person would. But
Malasek, so you are the goalie for the Czech Republic's
Yeah.
lacrosse team.
yep.
Yeah. Now, did you play in the World Lacrosse Championship that was in Denver, Colorado?
No,
Like-
so that was 2014.
Okay.
I was 15 years old. So then I interned. I was an employee actually for the 2018 World Games
Yep.
in Israel.
yeah.
So I met the Czech coaches there, introduced myself, said I play goalie. So I got a call for the 2019 European Championships.
played goalie for them, came in third, and then I've been playing with them ever since. So
Sweet.
I'm leaving next Sunday to go to San Diego to play.
Oh, let's
Sweet.
go.
Yeah.
What's the lineup of games? Who are you playing out there?
We got 4 games in pool play. We're in Pool C. So Pool C is us, Puerto Rico, Israel, Philippines, and Sweden. So we have to win, I think, 3 games to make it out of the pool.
Israel's pretty dirty because it's just a bunch of
They're
Jewish
not
guys
bad.
from Long Island.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Israel. So the way I practice in the mornings in the city, because it's like kind of the only time we can use like turf is in the mornings, and a bunch of the Israel guys live here and play. The process of getting a passport to be Israeli is the easiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Well,
As
If
long
you're
as you're
crazy.
Jewish.
Yeah, if you're Jewish, they'll just give you one. You
Yeah.
just got to go there and like make your aliyah, and then they'll just hand you a passport. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So their
So-
team is good, and then Puerto Rico's really good.
I'm personally friends with the goalie for Team China, and I
Okay.
don't know if they still compete, but 2014 was the first time they competed, and like 2 of my friends helped like coach this team, train these Chinese kids how to play lacrosse. And then this one dude who actually was Chinese, but he went to high school in the U.S. And his name was Don too, big smoker and drinker. He like played lax in high school, so became their goalie, and they were really trying to blow up lacrosse out there. But I don't like. Do you know if they're competing in San Diego?
So I'm looking at the pools. So Hong Kong has a team, but I don't see China as the country going.
Damn, COVID hit them hard.
Yeah,
They
but
no
I
longer have a
remember them
lacrosse
being. I
team.
know Japan is really good.
Yes,
They've gotten
Really?
really into it.
yeah. Actually, when I went to Japan, I would just see Japanese kids with lacrosse sticks in their backpacks.
They're really pushing lacrosse in Japan. Like the PLL goes over there and they do like
Oh,
camps
yeah.
and stuff like that. They have like lacrosse bars in Japan. So that country is one of those that's like emerging as like a big lacrosse country. I think they even beat Israel last time around in
No
2018.
way.
Yeah.
Are they so are the players Japanese or American?
Yeah,
X?
I think it's primarily like Japanese people.
Wow.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like they did
I think it's a rule you need to have at least one Japanese grandparent or something like
Yeah.
that in order to play for the team.
So the requirements for these teams is it's 23 guys on a roster. You get 4 non-passport holder spots.
Okay.
So the way like I have a passport to check. So
Okay.
like my dad got me when I was like 15 or something like that. So I don't count as an extra. Like I count as a citizen. We have 2 guys that are not passport holders on the team. Basically I looked up all the rules and regulations for what it is to try and like recruit people, and it's actually harder to get people to come out as Czech than you think it is. But the rules are like you have to have a parent, step parent, or a grandparent that's from that country,
Okay.
and they have to hold a passport.
Okay.
You have to either live in that country for 2 of the past 5 years, or you have to be married to somebody from that country. So there is like certain rules and regulations. I don't know exactly. Like Puerto Rico, I looked at their roster yesterday. I was curious because they're our first game. Like every one of those guys played Division I lacrosse, so I'm curious how many of those guys are like super Puerto Rican. But the website
sounds like you don't think they are.
right. Well, I would love to see all the documentation from Team Puerto Rico, but
We want to see the document.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna
let's see-
pull-
yeah,
I
pull
wanna
the
see the
tape.
document.
It feels
Birther-
like that
Puerto
bench
Rican
warmer
birthers.
scene with the I am.
Yeah.
It's I am Puerto Rican is what it looks like.
That's So I mean, I guess Puerto Rico, territory of the United States. I guess if you're an American citizen and
Right.
went to Puerto Rico once,
Like, I don't really get how you can be like
or if you're like Logan Paul and just
Yeah.
living there as a tax haven.
exact. So like I know a bunch of guys from Syracuse are on the team, and like I can't imagine these guys are like super Puerto. Not to like throw shots or anything, but like I'm curious how Puerto Rican all these guys are. A couple guys from Albany. Like one of the guys, I went to a D3 school for a year, my freshman year, and like a guy we played, whose name is not Puerto Rican, is on the like. I
What
know
college
this
did he
guy
go to?
Bates.
Oh yeah.
How many Puerto Ricans go to Bates? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Bates is a pretty wild. That part of Maine is actually pretty wild.
Oh my god! I mean, that's so out there, Maine. Like
Yeah, but turns out there's like I have a buddy who went to Bates who told me the story about a dude a dude was letting loose an AK in the middle of town, in that part of Maine.
Like
You're just
trying to
shooting it
shoot
off?
people or just
no,
like
no,
shooting
you're just
in the
shooting
air?
it in the air.
Did you see the
Celebratory.
video of the guy in France with the knife going around with like a
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't see it. I read about it, and all I read was Andrew Tate tweeted it, and he was like,
Oh, I
all
didn't see
these
it from
French
him.
dudes are pussies. They didn't do anything.
It
That
was
was
very
his-
interesting. Like this
was
guy
his
was running
take.
around with a knife, and then like people were just going. It was very. I mean, I don't know what I would do, but there was a person just going on their daily morning run, just ran right past it, and there was a guy with a knife trying to kill a kid.
Yeah.
Jesus. So Jake, do you have any beef with Slovakia?
Not really. I mean,
Do they have a lacrosse team?
I don't think they're going.
Dude, imagine if the
Do you think we should bring back Czechoslovakia?
So I've asked my dad about it, and like, there's no real like the beef the Czechs have is with the Russians,
Yeah.
and that's the majority of Eastern Europe hates the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've been brought up my whole life being like, we hate the Russians. Like, if you ever bring a Russian girl home, like, it's over. Like, you're disowned. Like, no Russians allowed in my house. And then the Turks, I guess, is also a separate thing. The Czechs, for some reason, hate the Turks.
Okay.
Like, a good Turk is a dead Turk is like one of the slogans I was taught when I
Damn.
was younger. And they, you go to Prague, and like the castles have Turkish people as doorknobs with like a bird
Holy
pecking their
shit.
forehead. Like, they don't like, those two groups of people are not
Yeah.
meshing well with the Czechs.
The Ottoman Empire does have some skeletons in the closet.
Yeah.
A couple.
But I think the farthest they made it into Europe was Vienna. Like, I don't know if
That's pretty far.
that is pretty far. So did they have to pass through Czechoslovakia
Yeah.
on the way to Vienna?
I'm sure.
not-
And also,
Well, they
like,
probably fought them.
the
Yeah.
Sudetenland was the first annexation, right? And that's the Czech Republic. So like, there's
Yeah.
been the Czech Republic's been the center cause of a lot of
Well,
controversy.
I mean,
in
the
Europe.
Serbs. It's all the Serbs' fault. You know, at the end of the day.
But yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
The Czechs and Slovaks, like, they don't love each other, but like, they speak similar
No.
languages, and they,
No, my
are neighbors and the whole thing.
my
Oh,
grandmother's Serbian, and the joke is like Serbians hold grudges, and that's what caused World War One, World War Two. It's because
And
they
then
just
all the
hold
wars,
terribly
all the wars
grudges.
in the 90s too.
Yeah. So
'Cause, like,
it's all the Serbs' fault.
The Balkans isn't a big place, but all of those countries hate each other. But
Serbs love Russia. From
yes,
what, the
yeah,
Serbia, yeah.
Yep, they are friends with Russians.
Their flag looks like the Russian flag, and like they like have rallies for Russia.
Yeah, Slav pride.
Yeah.
Because they're both Slavic people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm seeing that Czech Republic, or whatever it was called back then, did fight a lot of wars against the Ottomans back in the day.
Yeah. Ottomans also OG genociders, Armenians. Yeah.
Mhm.
People forget.
World War One.
Yeah. Are you drinking a warm beer?
I did. I cracked one.
Fuck it, I'm gonna drink a warm beer.
it's very bad.
I know. Coors Light is the best.
Oh
beer.
yeah,
The
no,
best
it's
warm-
incredible. Just
It's
it's
so
the
amazing.
mountains are not blue.
Yeah. But yeah, the Serbs always causing problems. Russians too. So
I mean, the Czechs are in a bad spot in Europe.
yeah.
They're just in the middle, which is never where
Yeah.
you want to be.
Oh, I mean, shout out the Czechs. They invented the light,
Yeah.
the golden beer.
You want to talk about beer consumption? I was in Prague 2019. I've never seen anything like this in my life. First of all, beer is like the equivalent of like 75 cents in
Mhm.
American dollars.
Wow.
You go to a bar and they just have beer. Like, there's no like, oh, like, what kind of beer do you want? You just ask for a pivo and they just give it to you. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's the beer they have. It's these guys. It's like water to these guys.
My favorite beer is Coors Light, but have any of you ever tried Czechvar,
I have.
which is
So-
the OG Budweiser?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think I ever have.
You-
Yeah.
you-
So like beer
order
used to just
some.
all be like
Should.
really dark brown and black, and like Czech Republic invented the golden beer.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's the best stuff I've ever had. Like, it's really. I've never had
Yeah.
a beer in America that's better than anything. That's
Well,
like,
Adolf Coors made the best beer. Adolf
Doesn't it
Coors
sound
was
like
from
he just said
Southern.
Was he?
he did.
Yeah, I think that.
Adolf.
Yeah, and so
thought you said out of light beer.
No,
Oh.
Adolf Coors.
Adolf
he
Coors,
brought
so-
he brought that over and made the ultimate beer,
Right.
Coors Light.
he was probably one of the last guys named Adolf
Yeah,
That must have
before
been a tough
it went
break.
out of style.
dude.
Is there any other name in like the history of the world that's been like
Adolf.
it's 1959?
Yeah, I
and
wonder
I'm
if like even
unfortunately
in
named
Germany, I assume that used to be like Germany and Austria. That used to be a semi-common name, but
Very.
like, but nowadays it's just no one
Yeah.
named
No,
it.
but Kevin, the name Kevin in Germany. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So, like Kevin is considered like an exotic name in Germany. So like a bunch of people name their kid Kevin, but now Kevin's like American Chad or Kyle.
Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of like, oh,
And,
fucking
like-
crazy Kevin. Like
Right.
Kevin chugs Monster and punches
yeah.
the
Kevin
drywall
is
in
like
German.
a term they use.
Just a bunch of dudes.
It's a
in
bunch of
Germany.
Yeah.
dudes running around
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
in Germany.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Kevinism is actually like a term there.
Yeah, that's wild because like Kevin's just so average.
The name
here.
is actually Kevin. It's not
Yeah.
like a German.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
actually
like
Kevin.
Kevin Rosedorf. Like
Oh, and it's actually it's an indicator of a low social class. So I mean, I don't want to compare it to this, but like in the U.S. when you hear just a really weird name,
I think I know what you're saying.
sometimes people make the assumption.
That you're poor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what,
What,
you're talking
like,
about. Yeah.
I'm with you.
like
Yeah.
Like when Frank the Tank's infamous Uber driver,
Oh.
Lakeisha or something,
oh,
Lakeisha.
Yeah.
oh, I was thinking more like
Or like
Dale. Sometimes
Oh,
Dale
okay.
does sound like
like
that-
redneck.
Yeah, that sounds redneck.
But it's so funny because I have a cousin named Dale.
The chick with social guy.
Yeah, true.
Chick
That
with
is
social
true.
guy.
Memes.
Travis said that
Yeah.
social.
Oh, we need more mics.
Gunther.
Or like
Are people still name that?
Leroy.
There's a
Yeah.
quarterback at Oklahoma State this year's the son of the coach. His name is Gunner,
That's pretty sick.
and it's also sick for be a quarterback called Gunner.
yeah,
That's kind of cool.
There was a quarterback at Ithaca. His name was Wolfgang.
that's pretty dope.
That's German, right?
Yeah.
I'm over the Nordic countries. Just
How come? Let's come on, tell us why.
It's just like everyone's like, oh, Nordic countries this, Nordic countries that. Yeah, the populations are incredibly homogenous, and yeah, if every country was like that, it could be possible. I will say I did find some. I had some disrespect for the Finnish army, but I was just very wrong on that. And I did some research on the Finnish army. I got to say, like, talk about some killers.
Finnish?
That's the sniper guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Also,
They've had to fight the Russians a lot.
yeah.
That's why, and that just showed my ignorance when I said it on Twitter. But, man, I watched some documentaries, read some articles on them. Finnish army, because the player on the Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen, is leaving. He's going to still be on the team and whatnot, but he's going to do his duty for like 6 months or so, I think, for Finland, because he wants to stay in the military.
So Finland technically isn't Scandinavian.
Yes.
Oh,
But-
it's not?
No, it's Denmark, Norway, Sweden are Scandinavian.
Yeah, but Finland would still be a Nordic country.
It would
though,
be a
I
Nordic
guess.
country,
Yeah.
but Finland's language culture is the closest to Hungary out of any other
You
country.
know, a lot of people think, not a lot of people, but there is a theory that Finland doesn't exist.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure you guys have gotten into that. That's a very common, quote unquote, conspiracy.
Well, it's all Russia, Cold War. I mean,
Damn.
Yep.
they gave them. Was Finland part of the USSR?
I do not know.
Was
I don't
Finnish?
believe it was.
Yeah, because I don't think it
But
was
they had to fight some wars to.
the Winter War.
The Winter War was.
I think
that's when
part of
everybody
it
was on like skis and shooting
in
and shit.
doing meth.
Yeah, sure.
History. Yeah, Finland was a constituent part of the Swedish Empire. It had its it wasn't.
So
But,
yeah, you know what's wild about the Nordic countries? Pretty much just any of the countries that have a border with the Arctic Ocean. Like as the oceans warm, that ocean is going to be ice free for longer and longer, and like it's going to
pop off.
Yeah, it is going to pop off. Like so for like 2 months of the year now, or maybe long. Yeah, I think it's 2 months. You can take boats over the top of Russia.
Yeah,
Which like no one thinks of. So you could go from literally the UK to China, not by going through the Suez Canal, but just by going over Russia.
Russia.
Over?
Yeah.
In like Siberian parts of it?
Yeah, just you go over this.
There's gonna be some
in the water.
There's gonna be some serious shipping lanes that open up over there because of global warming.
You've been, how many countries have you been to?
I don't know for sure. I get asked that a lot. I think-
Because Travi's actually been to a lot.
oh, let's go, Travi. I get
Perfect segue.
Name all the ones that I've been: Canada, Australia, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Switzerland, Austria, France,
Whoa.
Netherlands, Belgium, and then the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Yeah, I said Australia. Yeah.
now. Do you think it's bad that just because you have a Southern accent, I like assumed you hadn't been to it?
Well, yeah, I mean that's most assumption that most of my friends that if they go anywhere, it's usually to like the Bahamas or something like
Yeah,
that, or
yeah.
like Mexico. It's like we're going to Cancun, but
Yeah.
like I was I was in an ambassador program growing up, and it was like all, for like college credit doing stuff over there. And from 6th grade to 10th grade, I went on these trips over the summer, and we would go for like, some trips would be 12 days. And then the longest one that I was on was 21 days through like parts of Europe, and then ended in England.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
But you brought up the shipping lanes and stuff that popped up. I saw on like YouTube that the Alaskan airport that we have up there is like the 3rd most important airport in the world because of, at least back in the day, they with the amount of stuff that they could ship. Now they overfill the plane basically with just like 3 or 4 people on the plane to get the most possible. So when anything's coming from Japan, China, Eastern Europe to Alaska, it can stop there for refuel instead of taking a different route. But then also with the like ice unfreezing and stuff, that top, like what you said, like being able to go instead of going through the Suez Canal is now like makes that airport even more valuable, because like no one's claimed that up there, and like who's gonna do it will be the problem.
Yeah. I mean, so Russia, like, you know, the Russians have been like sort of cheering on global warming because it turns a lot of their desolate tundra into viable living space. But the thing is, they're having population collapse. And a lot of people talk about how they could have only invaded Ukraine now, because if they try to do it in 10 years or 20 years, they wouldn't have the population to do it. But in the same way, they're going to have all this like land that opens up and, you know, thaws out. That could possibly be farmlands, new cities and stuff, and new shipping ports, but they don't have the population to fill in those gaps. So like they're literally stealing Ukrainian children, trying to like supplement their own population, which is insane. I mean,
and they're trying to claim the Arctic Ocean is like theirs. Like they want to call it the Russian Sea or something. The Russian Ocean.
I mean, with their population collapse, they're not going to be able to defend that whole area unless they kidnap enough Ukrainians.
Yeah.
But not funny, but
I don't think that was funny at all.
but like they're literally stealing children from Ukraine right now. It's wild.
I mean,
I didn't hear about that.
War does suck. It's like
but it's one thing to, you know, take over a country. It's another thing to literally steal children.
well, what do you think happens when you take over a country?
But like, I don't know if there's that many instances of invading armies. I guess like making them enlist in their own
back
army.
in the day for sure.
Yeah,
like that's yours now. I mean,
that's the foundation of Rome.
It's awful, but
like
a lot of when you take over, unfortunately,
But in like World War II, were we like stealing kids?
America didn't invade. Like when we took over Japan and was occupying it, we didn't like take children back to the U.S.
Well, we just bombed them.
Yeah. But that's why.
I mean, those are two awful options. But
that's why Putin's been designated a war criminal officially under the Hague. Oh, wasn't it funny in the Vegas Knights game? The guy named Hague was trying to draw penalties for fighting, and he was just letting people rock his shit. And he was just like, I had a tweet brewing, but then the moment passed where I was like, it would be the Hague trying to point out war crimes on the ice.
Yeah.
It didn't get there. Okay. It was a work in process.
That's good. It's almost like it reminds me of when it's one of my favorite things about the World Cup or the Olympics is the tweets. If there's a country that beats another country, you can make jokes about it from a historical or just this team beat this team or whatever.
When that was USA England soccer, like the entire week.
The best tie since Bunker Hill.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
a couple
Tweets
years
like
ago.
that. It's just you can really you're probably much better at that than somebody like me, which I can look at and be like, oh, I get what that means, but I couldn't have thought of it myself.
Unfortunately, I mean, the thing is, the king is PFT commenter. He is, his brain needs to be studied because he just does it so effortlessly. It's like fascinating.
No, I mean, one of the smartest guys I've ever met, without a doubt. You're
Billy,
up there, Billy.
Huh?
Oh, it's one of the smartest guys I've met.
Thank you. Appreciate that,
Don.
Jared.
There's a lot of
you as
smart
well.
people in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy, can you name anyone who's currently in the Hague?
in the Hague.
Is it the Hog or the Hague?
The Hague? I think it's the Hague.
Okay, who is like in
The last
the
person
Hague prison?
the last person I remember is that actually, speaking of the Balkans, was that Serbian dude who drank poison and killed himself.
He has an awesome name.
Yeah, it's like
Can you recall it?
fuck. It's like I just know he just like looked like a war criminal.
He did. He looked.
He looked.
I have a
grizzled.
great topic.
It was Slobodan Milosevic.
Yeah,
Slobodan.
Milosevic.
I can't. I don't know if you guys have talked, but I mean, the entire Baby Gronk saga is
no.
made for macrodosing.
We
I
talked
know.
about
talked
it
about
a
it
little yesterday.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
It's so bad.
Baby
It's
Gronk.
sad.
Wrist out,
Baby
Baby
Gronk.
done.
Baby Gronk has had Livy Dunn stripped from him though. Now.
I know
Trip King.
He just got an offer.
No, that offer's been long.
Wait,
I
the
was
drip king got her
messaged about
back?
that offer and said, "Can you please report on Baby Gronk getting offered by Arizona about 2 months ago?" So now the Athletic is running with it. So
Is he actually? Are they actually offering this kid?
I'll show you the proof of the
No,
video.
He's like 10.
I feel like it's one of those like fake.
I mean, Lane Kiffin offered a 14-year-old, and that guy ended up being Sills.
He ended up being a wide receiver.
Yeah, is he on the? Who's he playing for now? Why am I blanking? on
Verbal.
his
It says verbal commitment.
Yeah, verbal offer.
Claims the
Verbal
dad
offer,
claims
yeah.
he got a verbal offer.
Here's the proof of so here I can share it if you guys want to put it in. But Baby Gronk's dad, after he infiltrated me with a billion photos of his son and Livy Dunn, on April 11th
Jesus.
at 11:16 a.m. he sent me a message. Bro, would Barstool Sports post the Arizona offer? As if I knew that he was offered, being Rob Gronk, former school. And I just responded, nah. And then he said, here's the proof. And this is how we got the offer.
So that's his parents that you think are?
Yes,
His
his
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
So Baby Gronk reached out to, I think, a wide receivers coach at Arizona. What's going on, big dog? And
This is the dad or the kid?
the dad. And then the guy responded, chillin', what it do, Baby Gronk? And said, man, we really trying to get Baby Gronk a little verbal to Arizona.
A little verbal. That
Sounds like
And
sounds
then
like a
that sounds like a
blowjob.
crime.
No, that should be like, yo, girl, can you give me some verbal?
And then this guy, Arnold Curtis, could you look this up? Look up who this guy
Arnold
is.
Curtis.
With a Z, not an S. Arnold Curtis?
Curtis? Kurt.
No, with a Z.
Kurt. Yeah.
Hey, look up Arizona. I want to
Arizona.
see what this guy's actual.
What is? Okay, so I'm looking up. I can't
Look him up
find
on
this guy.
Instagram.
Yeah, I don't see. He doesn't.
Curtaz 91.
Oh no,
Curtis.
Armand Curtis. My
Oh.
bad.
Oh, Armand. This guy doesn't exist. Okay, I found him. Ballhawk 8. Assistant Director of Recruiting.
All right, so he's messaging the assistant director of recruiting and says, "Man, we trying to get Baby Gronk a little verbal to Arizona." This guy responds, goes, "Bet. Let me see what I can do."
Stop.
And then Baby Gronk responds, "Thank you."
Is
and
that the verbal?
And then Baby Gronk gets another message from Armand that says, "Bet. Just talk to the tight ends coach, Jordan Powell." He said, "Let's offer him. He has an offer from the University of Arizona. Tag me and Jordan Powell, please." So that's how we got the offer.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Rizzed up the QB coach.
He risen.
Yeah, he's risen up everyone.
CB coach. If Livy Dunn and Baby Gronk had any relations, that's a crime, and Livy Dunn should be in prison. Just saying.
Yep.
He's
Thank you,
10.
Billy.
Can't resist
No.
it.
Say- Let's not blame Livy.
No, Livy is a cog in the machine.
She is the machine.
Poor girl.
But yeah, poor girl. Like, I mean, the dad took it. If anybody, it's the dad,
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad is exploiting children,
including Livy Dunn.
including Livy Dunn.
Who's on? Well, she's not underage, but she's under 21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's what, like 19, 20?
20.
By the
Would
way,
you guys exploit your children?
you would. You think that's
I would, like, if I have a child, they're going on my TikTok. Like,
They're
I just
working.
love-
What is exploiting children?
I don't know, because I love watching babies on my TikTok. Like, I
Like,
think
how-
it's so
is
fun.
that
No,
little-
I have a line.
Well, no,
I think
if
that-
your kid appears in your TikTok, it might be okay. But if you create a TikTok just
Oh,
for
no,
your
yeah, I would
kid,
never do that.
when
If you're like
he's-
filming them, like just like and they do
Travis,
something-
speak to the mic.
Like,
Got
if
'em.
you're- If you're like
Yeah.
if you're like filming them and then like they just like drop something or like they like fall, like I think that's fine.
That's the sort of
more
thing.
than like
Yeah.
you're getting them to like, all right, stand right here. Like,
Yeah, the
and then,
baby
like,
ground
do
thing
that.
is a little too far.
Right.
That
Yeah.
that's almost like he's at least the first like athlete I've seen, or at least parents that try to do that, or at least have gotten big from it. But it seems like toddlers and tiaras type
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's like
like
that
dance
script
moms.
that they're running, but just now like sports being social, viral, like stuff like that.
But what about like Ryan's World?
Who's-
Is that
the kid
exploiting?
who opens the
Yeah.
toys?
He's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
What?
Yeah, he's
wait.
fighting Floyd
That's-
Mayweather. July 25th on pay-per-view, YouTube.
But by the way, really quick, just because Donnie doesn't have to drink warm beer, do these interns like? Can we like get them to do shit, or are they like got jobs?
Well, all the interns
They would
do
do
have
shit.
jobs. I
They
have
do
to go to the
stuff.
bathroom. I can pick up some beers on the way.
Could you tell them to bring us beers?
Well, I would just get them.
Or fill the cooler again.
Yeah.
Fill the cooler again.
I used to have.
Don't make that.
I'm
Use
pre-gaming. I'm pre-gaming the gay bash.
I'm
tonight.
also pre-gaming the gay bash.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will not
Are you guys
be going.
Oh.
I
It's private.
Now, is that just
No.
because you are
I-
anti-Pat or anti-gays?
Oh no, I just have my foot really hurts, and
Yeah.
I think the
Okay.
less time I feel on it, but I'm just phrasing it as me just being anti-gay.
Okay, yes.
I'm pro Pat, pro Joey, pro gay.
I'm pro Pat. I know we go back and forth, but I actually I like Pat like as a friend. I
Okay,
consider
let's
him a
go.
friend.
Yeah.
Joey, I don't know as well, but Pat and I, we have our like back and forths, but I like Pat. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The gays party. I've said this before.
I
on the
mean,
show.
That's been known. For
Yeah, that's not like
that's
breaking
their
news.
thing.
the other day, like I was on the show and I was like, "Yo, dude, like gay dudes booze," and everyone's like, "Oh, you're making generalizations." I was like, "No, dude, they booze, dude." And like,
Yeah.
Now, wait until you realize they take drugs too. Isn't
Yeah.
that wild? The gays, they do the same things as us.
no, like they party
and
hard.
they're always like so rich because I guess just like men are paid higher than women, so it's like
No kids.
Yeah.
yes, that's why.
No
Yes,
kids.
It's not because men are paid higher.
They're
than
They're
women. It's the-
childless couples.
Yeah, I mean,
Two
well,
incomes, no kids.
some gay couples have kids. I'm
Yeah.
sure
Right.
a lot
all
eventually do,
just
but
dating.
yeah,
Percentage
but
wise, it's a lot fewer.
yeah, but
couples
for
that
a
have
while
children.
they're just raging.
Yeah.
Have you guys
There's
heard
not
of
as many
dinks?
like.
It's also
When they have kids, it's incredibly intentional.
Yeah.
Because you have to like.
There's no
a-
accidental adoption.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if Portnoy
Just
had
shut up on this.
two
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
or three kids, he wouldn't be gambling as much.
Right.
I think, but because he can throw
Yeah.
100K in a game because he's like
Dual
I-
income.
Have you guys heard of
Great.
dinks?
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah, double income, no
Oh,
kids.
damn.
I want to be a dinks someday.
Some people are.
Nah,
hitting it.
that's the devil talking.
Yeah, that is.
No, it gets
well,
a-
you're
gets a-
allowed a couple dink years.
Well, yeah, I get
Oh,
that.
under
Oh, everyone
Christ.
should
Oh,
have
yeah,
their dink
yeah.
years.
Immediately have kids? Is that what you're saying?
No, but this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What we talked about, the first thing we talked about in here. Nobody's having kids anymore because it's like, like they send out the stories that everyone sees. A woman at 108, I quote tweeted this other. A woman at 108 says the key to living a long life is to not have any kids. Well, yeah, like congrats on dying alone.
There's a lot of anti-children rhetoric.
Oh, it's everywhere.
That's crazy.
But
yeah.
that's also fine.
It
so,
is
but
fine. It's fine.
I thought people without kids like live shorter lives.
They probably.
I'm
I mean,
not
this
sure.
was one woman's
Yeah.
anecdote. You are. Mackenzie is of course right.
That
It
dog's
is
about to
fine
pop
to not,
off.
but
No.
it's like, I feel like in America
It's unnatural.
there's more.
Well, I just fucking hate Jake.
It's unnatural.
Well, that is true. You are betting against your biology.
Your prime reason of being alive is to have children and procreate. Like that's the
Your
entire
prime
point
reason
of being
alive,
alive.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like there's one purpose in the human life, and it's to have children and have them like
Look,
pass on your genes.
Look,
to the
look.
next
I just
generation.
think everyone's
You're
purpose just to have
standing on
fun.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously?
that's why we exist, is to do that again. And
No.
Oh,
that's the
you
cycle
mean men
continues.
and
Yeah.
women?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought you
No,
were
that's
just...
no, it's
No,
not women's
Okay, okay.
job. No, no, no.
Women have one
As,
responsibility.
no, that'd be bad. That'd be really
Yeah.
bad.
That's
Okay.
what I
Okay.
As
Okay.
human
Yeah. Yeah.
beings.
You
No, no,
phrased
no.
that
As
more
human
women.
beings, we are here to pass on our
I
genes
get
to the next
that.
generation.
Yeah, okay.
And
I
I'll
think-
double down on if you
He's doubling down.
think that like you don't want to have kids, you're betting against your biology.
Correct. And
What do
you're
you
a
mean
selfish
betting
asshole.
against it?
Your biology is like, I believe fully that you are, like Jake said, and then you live longer. You'll have the ability to be more happy. You'll have more purpose in life, and create a better society if you have kids.
Yep.
And that's for men and women. Like, it should be an initiative. Now, maybe there are people that like win betting against their biology, but they're probably outliers.
I think the real thing is that, especially about, not that we all, to Malasek's point, that's not our only purpose, but I do think people who live their life for others get greater meaning out of life than if they're just living for themselves.
100%.
And that's attainable without having children.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I think that's a better
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like there's
No,
definitely people that it's not like they should be.
No, it's a soulless existence to not have children in this world.
But
You're selfish. You're just living.
no,
like,
but there's
for
people
you.
who can't have children, and that's
No, by choice. If you
Yeah.
choose not to have kids and you can, you're an asshole.
And there are also some people, they're like, oh, I have 10 nieces and nephews. So like, I take care of them a lot, spend time with them, and I get my kid fix there. So I don't need kids of
It's
my
an
own.
excuse.
So
Yeah.
It's lame.
Well, there
So
are
they
people who
found-
can't-
No,
there's women who
if you
can't
physically can't
yeah.
have children, fine. But like if you can and you choose not to, lame.
no, but the thing is, it's actually really beautiful. They found a Neanderthal, and they say the first sign of I think the first sign of civilization is finding humanoids with a healed, broken femur, because that means that for the months that person couldn't walk, others took care of them, and they found a Neanderthal, and that was like the first sign of, I want to say, intelligent life, or like it's the first sign of like
Community.
community. That like if
Community life.
because they took care of this like at the time useless individual with a broken femur, and like kept it and like kept feeding and kept helping this individual until they were healed, and that's like the first sign of like humanity almost. And like that,
Yeah, because in most animal communities, if
Yeah.
you're hurt, then you're just they leave you to
if,
die.
if a chimp breaks its femur, like I've been watching Chimp Empire, amazing documentary, just like shows you so much about humans, like because we're all just in the inside, we're all just like way too intelligent apes that just deal with different problems, but like at the chimp level you can learn so much. And like chimps lose their arms and like they're living through life, like getting through, but like once there's a chimp with like a debilitating injury where it's like that's it, they're just like, sorry dude, like if you can't run with us, like.
Well, that was
You have no
also how
use.
they used to approach before modern medicine, like having kids. Like there was a lot of people, and I'm sure this is throughout a lot of writing. They would have 10 kids, only 6 would survive. But that was almost like if you want to have 6 kids, you should probably have 10 because there's going to be a few that don't survive.
I
Especially
think
with
even
poor-
more. Yeah.
Yeah, even more,
It
especially
was
with
like-
poorer families, because it was, there's so much, especially when you're younger, you get so much more susceptible to those diseases when you're
Mhm.
living on top of each other, especially in cities. A great museum in New York that I went to recently was the City of New York Museum, which
Where's
goes,
that?
which is up in the museum district, or Museum Mile, I think it's called.
Yeah, on
And it goes through New York City from legit the start to where we are now. I thought it got a little bit like off topic later in the
what are they
20
talking about?
well, in the beginning it was about all the history, then it got into like a little bit too much. I thought it turned into like a woke museum. From the beginning it was from 1400 to, I would say, pretty much 1995 2000. It was some really good information. A lot of revisionist history, specifically with COVID. But
who got really fucked out of the whole history thing, of Earth? The Dutch. The Dutch were everywhere, but like we don't consider them a superpower by any means.
all right.
Well, not anymore, but
They
at,
were
at one point they were probably
But-
considered.
outside of the Netherlands. Who else speaks Dutch?
So, yeah,
I mean, I
not
guess
a
the
lot now, but
Afrikaans
yeah,
kind of.
they used to control Indonesia.
Yeah,
That was all Dutch.
coffee.
They controlled New York. Like they used to
Yeah.
control the best parts of the U.S. because when the Pilgrims set off on their journey to find the U.S., they were trying to find the Hudson River.
Yeah.
Because they heard it was like a great place to settle, but they were just
Yeah.
way off course, and it was too late in the winter. They're like, we're gonna have to settle
Yeah.
in fucking Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But
they
then
became mass holes. when
the
they could've
Dutch
been-
finally found it, and like this part of the East Coast is by far the best because so they technically owned from Delaware up to Connecticut or something like that.
Yeah, but
and
then
you have the Hudson River, you've got
I just
Yeah.
why do they just keep getting cucked by the British?
Do you think they speak Dutch in Curacao? Because
They probably do, maybe.
Because I mean, that's just from MLB knowledge. Players knowing that they play for during the World Baseball Classic, they play for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
where's
don't-
Curacao?
don't
Wait.
A lot of the players from Curacao, like Xander Bogaerts,
Yeah.
he speaks like 8 languages. I think in Curacao, a lot of the people that are there, just due to the fact that there's so many tourists that come to Curacao, they speak upwards of 5, 6 languages because probably Dutch. Maybe they have their own native tongue, and then also English, Spanish.
Yeah, Ozzy's
Mhm.
very fluent.
Wait, how do you spell Curacao?
It's
C-U-A.
Curacao.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
They also speak some Dutch in
I
South
just only read
in
it.
South Africa and Aruba.
That's Afrikaans. Afrikaans.
Yeah, it's like
Did you?
You
Oh,
s-
I have a great. You
Afrikaans.
said Africa. My mind went to a great topic.
Oh, let's
okay.
lay it on us.
Okay, so there's a UFC fighter. His name's Dricus
Oh,
Duplessis.
Duplessis. I am the only African fighter.
So, and then there's a bunch of African fighters and so Dricus is white, South African white.
I train in Africa.
And he says and then there's like Israel Adesanya. He's Nigerian, but he grew up in
New Zealand.
New Zealand. And then he doesn't train in Africa. Then there's Francis Ngannou, who's not in the UFC anymore, but he was from Cameroon, and then went up to France and then was training in America, whatnot. Then there's Kamaru Usman, Nigerian, but then he moved to Nebraska. He was saying that he wants to be the first true African Dricus.
I train in Africa.
True African
Yeah.
Champion, and not like the other guys who, because Dricus breathes African air,
Yeah.
while Israel Adesanya and
Look.
whatnot doesn't. And then now Israel Adesanya he was not happy with them, called him a cracker.
Yeah.
Well, no, he
this
did.
guy,
No,
this
he-
guy is this guy's lining up to sell a hell of a fight.
Yes, so
That's
you
what
also have
it
to
is.
consider
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like
Great way to sell a
yeah,
fight.
like him selling like an apartheid like matchup like in
Yeah.
the UFC like
Well, he's not necessarily pro apartheid or
No, he's
but,
not.
like,
No,
but he's
he's-
playing on
Yeah.
that rhetoric to sell a killer fight between him and Adesanya.
He's
Yeah.
like quadrupled down on it. He's not running away from it. It's not like, I didn't mean like that.
I
He's like,
breathe
no,
the
I'm the
African
real
air.
African. And obviously he looks like me. Well, not like me because he's fucking ripped. And he's like, like he's fucking like could kill all of us at once. But Adesanya comes, I think.
I heard Elon Musk's going to be in his corner for the fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be, I mean, I'll tell you
And
what,
Durant
Dana
would.
White would love that fight. Just from a money
Oh
perspective.
yeah, dude. I mean, that would
Easiest
sell
fight
so
to sell
hard now.
ever.
Yeah, I mean,
Dricus against
that's his angle, and he's gonna get a great fight because of it. But, I mean, like he's smart enough to know that like him playing off of those deep racial, like tensions in
But it's
Africa.
a really dangerous game to play if you're Dricus.
Yeah, and but plus like there's Dricus is he's training on there is still economic apartheid in South Africa, and he's definitely in the gated community, well trimmed lawn like wealthy side of that divide, and he knows that like if he plays this up he's gonna be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to get a fight with Adesanya, and Adesanya's going to kick his ass, and he's going to get paid a huge bag.
Mm-hmm.
And, but he's going to get the bag because he, played it this way. Same thing like with Colby Covington.
Yeah, Colby, hasn't really played with that, but,
No, but
man, he's my dream interview.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Colby guy ever.
Well, Colby was going to get cut if he didn't play up.
Nah,
the
that's
character.
you
You don't
that's
believe
another
that?
revisionist history.
You don't believe
He was a
that?
top 5 welterweight. Like that doesn't make any
Right.
fucking sense. He beat Rafael Dos Anjos, who they weren't gonna cut him.
No, because he was a wrestler. His style was like
But they don't cut guys like that. He was winning.
right, but he
I will
wasn't,
say,
I think
what a
maybe
line.
not cut him, but he wasn't
What
going
a
to get
line.
good fights.
Like Brazil, you're a dump. All you filthy animals suck. Like it was just like it was a truly epic 1980s, 1990s WWE. Got
Oh.
on the mic.
I mean, I remember the summer he was interning at Barstool, and Jack Mack was also an intern back then. And honestly, I think working that summer at Barstool was like just such a special time in the sports world. I mean, Mayweather McGregor.
McGregor.
Do you remember we watched that?
Yeah.
We watched that press conference
Yes,
together.
Yes.
And McGregor calling Mayweather a monkey and Mayweather calling McGregor like
The
F-A-G word.
Yeah.
Like that was the greatest fight promo I think of all time.
No, that was special. McGregor's run will never be. He'll be back, but like it'll never be like what that was. Is one of the most special runs in the history of sports.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, the guy went on. He was a random guy from Ireland that went on like an incredible run from an entertainment perspective, but also like I mean, he was really good.
So do we see? I like think about who McGregor might fight in the future.
Look, Michael Chandler.
Yeah, but do we see a McGregor Paddy Pimblay fight?
Okay, so
And a handing of the baton type.
okay,
thing.
so there's a few aspects here. McGregor will probably fight Michael Chandler either in December, January, February. And then if McGregor wins, there's a chance they give him a title shot.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if he loses but he wants to fight again? He could. The only thing is he could be like let's say he loses to Chandler, they could say, "Hey, like you want to fight again, you can headline in Ireland." And then they would also, and we were like, we want you to fight Paddy.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, I would say that fight's possible.
Liverpool versus Ireland.
How's the Republican versus Scouser relationship? Irish
So
Republicans.
Liverpool is known as a very Irish city in the UK. So yeah, I mean, so
But are they monarchists or Republican?
Liverpool they are not monarchists.
So yeah, there's
they
not
fucking
enough
hate the queen.
there's not enough
or
beef.
the king now.
When we
There's really not not much beef between
McGregor
Liverpool and
Pimblay.
Ireland.
Like it would be so cool if there's a little bit of like
There's-
Paddy was a monarchist.
Well, it would be more. The beef would be like, oh, you're like. McGregor could be like,
you're rich.
no, like you're trying to do the same thing as me.
Yeah.
Like you're like I was the one who started this like
Yeah.
being a cult. I don't know.
I was from the aisles on the mic before you were.
Yeah, I mean they're not super similar, but I guess they're just both like really eccentric characters.
I mean,
which
I
worked
can
out well.
imagine Dana thinking about it. He's like, oh, look, we got another guy with a funny accent who's, on the mic with
Yeah.
like.
Go ahead.
I know it's more than that, but
I was saying is when this is like nearly 10 years ago, but like so when I did one of those trips, we're in England and like obviously we get merchandise and whatnot. When we went to Ireland after like later in the trip to like finish it, they told us not to wear anything for the UK. Like they were like, do not wear anything, like could be problems and whatnot. So like obviously is a beef there, but like that's 10 years ago. But I don't think that
no,
that's
it's
like
still.
yeah, it's still how it is. But yeah, they were like, do not
Yeah.
wear the
Yeah,
British
no.
flag, anything in Ireland or like,
There
This
is
is in
a
a box
huge
in a-
beef. It's more just like Liverpool probably sides with Ireland on a lot of things
Yeah.
over their own country.
That soccer video of the people chanting "Lizzie's in a box."
Yeah.
That was Ireland.
I think it was.
right?
No,
Like-
I think that was Liverpool.
Oh yeah, it was one of the
Oh, is
people
that-
who hate. They hate. There's a lot of people who hate the Queen
'Cause that
on
was crazy.
That archipelago,
Yeah.
like.
And they hate the Tories.
Yeah,
Fuck the Tories.
Well, Molly obviously is another Liverpool, and obviously McCann, Irish. They are very like also, yeah, truly. I mean, I would call them socialists.
Yeah.
Now outside, Paddy is very similar to McGregor, but it's kind of comparing like a rookie second-year quarterback to like a guy that has been in the league for a very long time.
Yeah.
Paddy's rise is very similar, and it makes sense why they compare him because
Yeah.
they're truly
It's unfair to Paddy.
and Paddy's people like love for him. The only thing is, McGregor's skills were just so elite,
Yeah.
and he truly dominated the sport. Paddy has a long way to go, and I think he'd even admit that. But there is a comparison.
Yeah. Paddy. One thing about Paddy, he kicked my ass 100 times over. But his weight fluctuation, I think, is impacting his fights. Like he gets his having to cut that much weight, having to fluctuate all the time. Sometimes he's walking around at 200 pounds and you can tell he's bloated as fuck. Like that's impacting his performance in the cage.
There are a lot of guys though that like Habib,
Yeah.
who a lot of people say is the greatest of all time. He was like outside of camp was like huge. I mean, you can see him now. He's like probably 210 pounds. And like Islam Makhachev, who's now like Habib's protege, he's now the champion at Habib's weight, at 155. Habib, he also like right now looks like kind of
But
similar to the Patty.
you know what's
looks
the-
like 200.
But you know what's the difference? Those guys aren't drinking like a Scouser.
So
Yeah,
that,
those guys are
I-
but
Yeah.
Patty doesn't drink.
Yeah,
that much.
I don't think he drinks them. I think when I hung out with him and went to AC Milan versus Inter Milan, he had a match in a month then, but he never touched.
He even
a
Oh,
drop
yeah,
of
yeah.
his-
He told us, and Molly says it too. He's like, "Thank God Patty doesn't drink because he'd be truly massive." He
Oh,
says his
I
drinking-
thought that was all beer weight.
Oh
No,
no!
no.
Oh,
It's
I'm very
sweets.
misinformed.
Yeah,
It's
it's all
sweets.
sweets. He gets
Oh.
high and just eats a bunch of junk food.
Yeah.
Oh,
He.
I'm sure he says he'll have the occasional beer. Here and
Yeah.
there, but he's not really a drinker.
He's not so.
Oh.
Molly says she's a much bigger drinker than Patty.
yeah, we've.
Yeah.
Molly's next fight is in July, which is awesome. She's fighting in London. Patty wasn't ready because he had the surgery, but I bet Patty will fight in December. He could have an awesome matchup with the guy who's like a Barstool fan,
Yeah,
Matt Frivola, Steamroller,
yeah.
and he's called out. And that guy just had a massive win. He's called out Patty a bunch, and it would be like a sick fight too. I don't know if the UFC and Patty will, if UFC will give Patty to Frivola, but we'll see.
Huh. Yeah, I mean the McGregor, hypothetical McGregor Patty fight would be very cool, but I think they're sort of on the same side of history. Actually, the socialist versus rich guy angle could get played up.
But Patty's not a socialist.
Right, but you can, but his ideology, like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but he's like, I think Molly's a little bit more. Because I've seen Molly's
Yeah.
posts and whatnot. I could tell a little bit more of that ideology opposed to Patty. I don't know if he really even gets into it that much
Anymore, he used to.
Well, he gets like a lot of money, which is, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, talk about a guy who's fucking phenomenal. And he's been great to work with too.
Yeah, but I mean, I was shocked when I found out how much Patty was making, and for like maybe the.
So that's
the
another.
fight-
Have you guys ever talked about like the
I don't. Like, it was.
MMA? Like
was not a
UFC
lot.
pay?
The fight, how it's like
Portnoy
low.
was shocked too because he's like, "Oh, I just paid this guy like 20 times that."
Yeah, so it was reported this. I mean, it may have not been 100% true, but I mean, when you start in the UFC on your first contract, you usually get paid like 10,000 show, 10,000 win.
Yeah, so that's like
It's like rough. And
that's like
rowdy.
1/5 of what you
No,
made
it's
at
not.
Rough and Rowdy. It's even that's 1/5 of what you made
No,
fighting in a Rough and Rowdy.
I remember Patty's check was the same as my check from the Jose Canseco fight, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Patty got a new contract,
Right.
but there is a discussion about like UFC fighter pay and whatnot, and how if you look at, this is probably has to do a lot with unions and whatnot, but if you look at like the Players Association and the NFL, NBA, they demand 49% of the revenue from the leagues to be paid to the players. In UFC, it's around 15%. And there's a lot of leagues out there who now like PFL, not Bellator as much, but Bellator pays a little bit more than UFC for a lot of guys. How they are saying we want to pay the guys more, and that's why they'll come and fight with us. But the only thing is, when you fight in the UFC, yeah, your payment might not be as great in the cage, but you become a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, would Patty have as many followers on all of the platforms if he fought in another organization? Probably not. But that doesn't necessarily make it fair. But all these guys sign a contract.
I mean,
it's not like Dana's pointing a gun at them.
Ngannou, right? Why doesn't he? I know he wants more money. Of course, he should be getting paid. To be at the top of your sport, you should be getting paid big bucks. And I know there's more money elsewhere, but how does he not, in his brain, take the big fights, solidify his legacy, and just try to make up for it with tons of endorsement money? That he's like, if he's wearing stuff in the UFC, if he's endorsing stuff while he's in the UFC, he's gonna make more money than endorsing stuff in the PFL and taking PFL money.
Yeah. The biggest thing with Ngannou, I mean, he may have just been like, hey, like, I want my bag now, and I don't want to fight John Jones.
You think he's just ducking John Jones?
Well, he also was very particular, and he wanted to get involved in the board of the PFL and have a vote on a lot of fighter rights issues and whatnot. So I think he wanted to be more of a martyr than obviously he gets paid a lot, but you're right, legacy. But I think for him, he's like, legacy, yeah, but he has a legacy. He won the UFC heavyweight title. Like, yeah, maybe if he fought John Jones, it would have like certified his legacy a little bit more. But
you think his blade's dulled? He's gotten a little too. He hasn't got it in him anymore. Where he wants to take challenges.
I would say, I mean, like him against John Jones would be the best fight on paper right now in MMA world. Like, it would be sick
history.
But maybe just like it's like, I don't want that.
I mean, John Jones got out of the USADA pool for a couple years specifically to be the baddest man on the planet and try to fight Ngannou. I mean,
he did.
That guy, like John Jones, put on how much weight did he put on? I think it was 40 pounds when you don't take into account his cuts.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, like he was fighting at 205, and then his last fight he fought at I think it was 250 pounds or so. So that's 40. Like, I mean, yeah.
I mean, what do you think he was running from? I think.
Well, I don't know as well as you, but also, I mean, probably when he was walking around too, he's probably up at 275, 280. Yeah, I mean, he's massive, dude.
He must have been running probably just test and HGH. I mean, he's got money, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these guys are probably even like they got the good stuff that doesn't really get detected.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in the UFC and whatnot is like the EPO and whatnot. So you can fight, like your cardio is just so good.
Yeah, so you can just fight forever.
Because like an NBA or like MLB, HGH is so great because it helps you recover because you got to play right away.
Yeah.
But UFC, it's like, you fight 2 or 3 times a year, but that all out cardio is like, you can't really even compare it to anything. It's elite level. That. Yeah, no, exactly. So EPO, like some guys have gotten caught for that, but like also, I mean, I think a lot of people are on it.
Oh, I mean, there's some stuff that they're trying to get me to do for the Canseco fight, which turns you orange. It's like
carrots.
Yeah, no, it's like some sort of. I didn't do it. If you look at me, I'm pale as fuck in the fight. But it was a lot of UFC fighters that look orange. They're taking some sort of substance that like ups your cardio by a shit ton. So that's why all the UFC fighters have a kind of weird glow about them.
Wait, who? Which UFC fighter?
Let me look it up.
I look at a lot of them.
I think it's a SARM.
And they always have their shirt off because it's like
I didn't
they fight without
know
him.
The UFC is a very like orange organization.
Yeah, it gives you a slight tan. It's sorry, I'll look it up, but it's like
Patty looks orange just because everyone in Liverpool loves fake tans.
Yeah,
Everyone gets spray tans there.
Yeah, Cedine?
I don't think Patty I don't think Patty's there's no indication he's on anything. There's some guys that people have always speculated within the UFC that are like yeah, like you may not be getting caught, but you definitely look like you. You know, there's a lot of gyno and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like Michael Chandler did this video on and I don't want to trash him because he's like awesome. I like him a lot, but he did this video. It's like, why my testosterone is 50 times higher than everybody else's.
Who does that?
And Michael Chandler did like, and it was just like, you're just asking for the comments at that point.
What was his levels? Cardarine is what they're saying. It makes you go for hours.
Do you guys know how Nelk recently went to Dagestan to film with Hezbollah?
Yeah.
So that was during the war. Like
Yeah.
I thought kind of American citizens like just weren't allowed in Russia by any means. Is that just because like maybe Khabib and those guys have so much pull there? They're like, don't worry, these guys can come and film this.
Well, they probably talked with Carterov. He's big. I feel like
I talked with someone that was like knew someone who was there with them. They got stopped a lot.
Yeah.
But doing it with Makhachev and Hezbollah and whatnot, it's almost like, yeah, if the president says you can come to America, you can come into America, even if you're like, but they couldn't go anywhere without
those
Hezbollah,
guys.
Islam, Makhachev, who's the UFC fighter, and then whatnot.
Dude, that Chechen warlord dude has the funniest fucking videos. Jack Mack and I send each other videos of him like like rolling around in Humvees, shooting guns, and, like doing tough man shit, like like. It's so funny how strongman politics is translated into the social media age, because you literally have this old fat dude with a beard like lifting, doing push-ups, like shooting guns, like trying to make himself look like Rambo, and it's like so fucking funny.
Putin tries to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They had in the Nelk video that you mentioned that like mostly all those guys, either Canada or from the United States,
Oh,
they have one guy in their group that's Brazilian. And he didn't get, they said it in the videos, like he didn't get stopped. They didn't care. He went like right through, like when he was there, but like every other person was like stopped every single time. It was like, like whenever there was a checkpoint. They didn't care about the Brazilian.
But Putin's commitment to martial arts is huge. He also, like, I mean, he's I think Sambo world champion, not world champion, but I mean, it's like, he practices Brazilian jiu-jitsu and whatnot, and he's a big fan of all, like after Khabib won, he was welcomed, he brought him to Moscow, and I think after Islam won as well. But Chechnya and Dagestan are much different.
Yeah, like are they still actively trying to leave Russia?
Yeah, and then also like there was a big issue in Dagestan recently where they thought they were going to be forced to enlist, and Chechnya was much more about it. But like the Chechen army, but the Dagestanis were not at all.
Yeah.
But it put a very weird situation for the likes of Khabib, the likes of Islam Makhachev and whatnot, who have a direct relationship with Putin, and that's fine. But once the military aspect came up, it really changed a lot of things.
Yeah, my Jamal, he was my tour guide when I went to Tajikistan, and during COVID he went and worked in Russia for maybe 1 year or 2 years, and while there he got Russian citizenship, and apparently Russia is running low on troops, and so they're going to start recruiting citizens from Central Asia. And so he like hit me up very worried about getting recruited into the Russian army. He was like, I don't want to fight in this war. And Russia's going to send those guys straight to the front lines.
Because they're not.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't care about this at all. Like, I don't want to die, and so I'm trying to figure out ways to get him to the U.S.
Yeah. No, I mean it's very serious. Like that's such a crazy story from the perspective of just like I sit here and think like, man, like my problems are nothing.
Yeah,
because it's like, and Tajikistan is right near Dagestan, and then like in that.
No, it's not. It's not in the Caucasus there, but. It's in Central Asia, so near Kazakhstan, near Uzbekistan.
There's been an influx of a few more UFC fighters from Tajikistan, I think, or Turkestan.
So Kyrgyzstan,
maybe Turkmenistan.
So Baval, I'm scared they're gonna try to do that to Baval, because Baval.
No, Putin would never let it, because he loves, as long as he keeps boxing.
But they did that to the retired fight. They enlisted the gigantic Russian boxer who looks like a freak of nature.
Klitschko?
No, not Klitschko.
Volkov?
No, that's a MMA.
He's
fighter.
like 7 foot tall.
His name may be Volkov.
And is he fighting in the war right now?
Nikolai Valuev. They enlisted him. He's 7 foot. He's 50 years old.
Wait.
And yeah.
Shit. So because I was like, Jamal, I think is maybe 45, and I was like, aren't you too old to be enlisted?
No, they're just taking everybody.
They're taking everyone.
And Dagestan and Chechnya have a rivalry, right?
Yeah, like, they're right next to each other.
A war a little bit?
Yeah, so from what I can tell, the Chechens, the Republic of Dagestan, which is under Russian rule.
Yeah.
I was trying to read it during this conversation, but I know that they're right next to each other, but it turns out the Chechen rebels were trying to stir shit up in Dagestan, but the Dagestanis were like, fuck no. We're not causing shit. But I mean, we've all seen that crazy video of the Russian tanks rolling into Chechnya, and the two guys who fought in Afghanistan together being like Dmitry, don't invade. You will send your sons home. You will make the mothers of your troops go home sonless or something. And they're like trying to plead with each other, and then they ended up killing each. It's like the wildest video ever.
Hey guys, I have some breaking news.
What?
Dirty Water Don and crew, I think they just pulled up some big ass bones from the East River.
What? What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Look at this bone. That looks like.
Holy fuck! That's
I think that bone will get him on Rogan.
Holy fuck!
Right? Like,
yeah, that looks like a thigh bone.
So when you guys went down there, was that? I was curious.
It was real.
Real, but like, was it like a bit real or was it like real?
It was real as fuck.
So the guy, there's like real stuff down there.
No,
it was real as fuck. That fucking bone I pulled up at the end. That was a bit.
fake.
Right.
Yes.
So the whole thing
But
was
everything
real
else was
up until the bit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
everything was 100% real until the very end.
But
when
there
we were
is
like,
stuff down there.
No, I
Well,
went down there and I was like, "There's no point." Like,
dude, when we were down there, the current was like whipping, and you couldn't see shit. You had like 6 inches of visibility. I pulled up a rock just to say yes, I was at the bottom,
Right.
but we couldn't find shit. But they found an area where they pulled up a mammoth bison jawbone. And then they're like, okay, we're just going to keep looking around there. And apparently that spot, it's only like 20 feet deep or something. So they've just been looking there for a month. And I think he's saying it's a,
bison.
It's a bison tibia bone.
Yeah.
How deep was it where y'all were?
70, dude. It was fucking. Jesus.
75 feet. Yeah. We had zero training.
I just remember being down there and I was like, I can't see shit. I gotta hold on to this fucking rope because if I let go of this rope, I'm gonna go 100 feet down the river. I'm gonna detach from the air and I'm gonna die. And I was like, I was down there and I was just like, fuck this. I'm down here. I'm coming back up.
The
like,
open,
I'm not seeing shit.
Open water is like by far and away my biggest fear in the world.
Oh, that's called thalassophobia.
Yeah, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. It's
That's
like that
cool.
is. I would desert, whatever, Arctic. I'll do that. Middle of the ocean is like the worst possible. It's so scary.
So, but we weren't in the middle of the ocean. We were in the
Even
East
still,
River.
like 70 feet down in the. I'm so out. Not having 100. Like you cut off when you're like floating in the ocean. 180 degrees of your thing is gone,
Yeah.
and like when you're under, everything is gone. You've no idea what's going on. That's terrifying to me.
Would you like get visions? Because after I watched Jaws that summer, I
Just, like,
watched it
anything to
during
be
the
there.
summer.
You
I was
have
like,
no
holy
idea.
fuck! Like,
Yeah.
that's why I like swimming in places that I know the animals, because I know that, like, for example, in a bay in Rhode Island, there's no possibility of there being a great white shark.
Still out.
Or have y'all talked about in the belief of like the Loch Ness monster or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually need to do a Loch Ness monster
Yeah,
episode.
when I was there, I don't know the actual name of the lake, but like I think
It's Loch Ness.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Because Loch
Uh,
means lake
well,
in Scottish. So, yeah.
when I went, bar mine, I was like 12. But
Yeah.
they explained how deep the
Yeah,
water
it's
was and
deep as
everything.
fuck.
And like I don't even know how you would look for anything if possible there. Like this, they say people dive nonstop every day, but yeah, like,
It's a glacial. The Loch is
Yeah.
a glacial lake, right?
Yeah.
The Loch.
A loch.
The Loch. There's a
Yeah.
monster in the Loch, and it took
I mean,
my
I
baby.
kind of lean towards that being a hoax.
Yeah.
Because, like, they found out that some of the photos that went super viral
Yeah,
way
were
back in the
fake.
day, we're all fake.
We'll save that for an episode because there is some interesting history behind it, but it's
Yeah.
definitely just fur seals.
there's like one photo that
Yeah.
they have, and like
Episode over.
they have like
okay, boom.
they have
It's
like
fur
4
seals.
shops there, like,
Yeah.
up along the banks, and they all sell like the same photo on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. No, I'm
The
sure
Loch.
they've made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
It's what was I thinking of? We were talking about Loch Ness monster. We were talking about oceans, animals.
Oh,
in
and
the
you were just
oceans.
saying there's going to be no great white shark in the bay in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Um,
The bottom of the East River, it's a tidal estuary, which means that the currents don't move uniformly. So I just don't. I remember saying this at the time, like you're getting hit with gusts of like it felt like wind, but like just walls of water.
Pass.
And I was like, I didn't grab anything from the bottom because I was like, if I let go of this rope, and then at one point I lost touch of it, and if I didn't grab the rope again, like I was gonna get swept out.
You weren't tied up.
I was no, well, I was tied up to the boat, but
You weren't tied up to like the waist.
I just had 100 pounds of metal on me, so I was just down. I was sleeping with the fishes.
No, but my point is like they didn't tie you to like around your waist to the boat.
No.
It was to like hold on to the rope with your hand.
No, but like the helmet we were wearing did have a tube that like because it was surface supplied air, so they could always pull up the tube. One story I saw that I feel like we should touch on. There was a guy in India, and he always had this giant bulge in his belly, and he would be made fun of in the village. He was ridiculed because they were always like, "You look like you're pregnant." And then when he was 36, I don't know, I guess it started to like, it was very painful, was rushed to the hospital. And they were like, okay, I think you just have a huge tumor. We're going to have to operate. They pulled out his twin that had been growing and apparently living inside him for his whole life. Like it was like living like a parasite inside him. They pulled it out. It had fucking bones, fingernails, and shit like that.
Genitalia, hair, limbs, jaws.
It was kind of just like, a curled up human living inside him.
Is that murder?
No.
If they took it out?
Was it living?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it was like
heart?
living and sort of like feeding off of him via some sort of umbilical cord. And then like he went back to the village, and now they still make fun of him to this day because they're like, "You had a baby," But I mean, that probably is
practice by somebody for not checking that for 39 years.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have access to medical care. It's called it's the symptoms called fetus in fetu, and it happens when very early in a twin pregnancy when one fetus wraps around and envelops the other.
I feel like if Billy walked in like pregnant, I'd be like, dude. Go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Why the buddy pregnant?
Yeah, for real.
This type of shit,
buddy pregnant.
My man.
That type of stuff only happens like in India. You hear about those stories all the time.
I feel like
Because he would go to the
village
doctor
humor.
here. He would get it checked out.
I feel like village humor is so goddamn funny. Like isolated village humor, like
he's the pregnant guy, and then it turns out like he actually sort of was pregnant.
People just have terrible deformities, and these guys are just sitting there being like, "Oh."
Does it say where like
Elephant
it was
guy
inside of his body?
It was in his belly.
Yeah, but like in what part of the belly? Like in an organ? Or
Dude,
was
the
it
fact
just,
that this thing had genitalia.
Yeah, so it started to
creepy.
grow so big that it was pressing on his diaphragm, so he was always running out of breath.
Damn, 40 years?
Yeah, let's see if we can find any photos. That'd be sweet.
Jesus.
But fucking A. I mean, that shit does. I mean, conjoined twins. Like, I knew a girl who was like, yeah, I apparently absorbed my twin in the womb, and I can still like hear her talking to me sometimes.
She said that?
Yeah.
Does it think
I don't know. I think she might just be a little crazy, and like when
she could have her twin talking to her in her brain. Isn't that a
Yeah.
horror movie? Like someone absorbed their twin, and then the twin was haunting.
I found a photo.
Oh,
He really
Ew.
does just look pregnant. Oh, and then that's a photo of what was inside the tumor. Jesus
God.
Christ.
Okay, look. Let me see what's inside.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
Let's take a pic, and then we'll be like, ah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not super graphic, but I guess like that was what the shape of the tumor was like.
Is it like Voldemort?
Oh
under the train
my
tracks?
God, that is. Oh, it looks like. Oh, that's weird. Oh, this is
Okay. All right.
It's like
My buddies from college are twins, and they had a triplet in the womb, and one of them ate it in the womb.
but
Yeah.
like with its teeth.
No, like it absorbed
Doesn't
it.
have
Yeah.
teeth,
Absorbed it.
Billy. It's
What?
a fucking
baby.
fetus.
No, what we'll say like you're eating.
No, it didn't like
What do you mean?
cut
You
it
don't-
off.
like
and eat
Yeah.
it.
when you say
Yeah.
like
Is it, like,
absorb.
feasting on it?
We've been using the
Like-
word absorb.
Their
and then
parents went
Yeah.
to the doctor. There was 3 of them, and then a couple months later, they went back, and there was 2 of them.
That's crazy.
Happened for the best.
Yeah,
like he's like
well, it
actually
was
just-
gonna be a girl too, and then now it's just the boys. Just that.
Oh.
Was,
Yeah.
was one of the
That's
twins
fucked
like
up.
That's
bigger
so
than the other?
sexist.
Yeah,
No,
like, yo.
they're pretty similar sizes.
But like if like one of them ate the other one, it kind of
He
like
didn't like
it-
absorb her powers.
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking.
no.
the dudes that were like, yo, do you want to grow up with just dudes,
Right.
Do you
or
wanna-
are we gonna have a little
Yeah.
like a sister?
They had a
like,
little
So
like.
now it's just the
she's
fellas.
probably gonna tell on us.
Right.
My brother, like
Fuck that
Saturdays are
bitch.
just for the boys. Let's go.
Wombs are just
Together.
for the
The
dudes.
twins like the biology behind that is crazy. Makes me blow my minds every time, because like there's so many variations of egg that you can get with twins and triplets and all that. It's bananas.
Oh yeah, the XXYY.
But just like, because first of all, I didn't know that multiple eggs left, or that they can use different tubes,
What do you
something like
mean?
that. Like
for a pro
my sister
children
had a
guy, you
fallopian
should
tube
know a
Yeah.
little more.
So one of them like kind of doesn't work. So I thought like, oh, now she only has one side, but that's not true because they can use both sides. So both ovaries can release an egg into one tube, which I did not think was
Yeah.
possible.
So
they
is there like a
connect.
male
all-
ovary and
But
a
I don't know
female
how- like,
ovary?
how
It's
does it
like,
get
where's
from
it going
A
to
to B?
drop?
I don't know.
no.
But it's like
Wait,
it's all
the
it's
fallopian-
all
I
like
don't
one
know.
working
No,
system.
The
So
fallopian
there's
tubes.
two ovaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's two tubes.
Yeah.
And it goes in. It's
And
like
it
that.
goes-
The womb?
That's what it looks like.
Yes.
It's that,
Yeah.
like thing. So how does it go from left ovary to right pipe?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
How does it?
that I don't
how
know.
does it transfer over there?
I don't
Wait,
know.
it doesn't.
But it does though.
If
When?
it's twins.
No, not even if it's
Oh.
twins. It does in general.
Oh my
Jack
God.
Mack
If
just
you
brought
lose the
some
fallopian
cold
tube-
Well,
Coors
also,
Light.
well, maybe
Okay.
it's because Jake. I'm not quite sure, but 'cause
Thank you, Jack Mack.
usually twins are one egg that splits into two.
that's identical twins.
Right.
Right.
I'm okay. thank you.
Fraternal is double egg.
Thank you.
Right.
Double
Oh wait, are you saying
egg.
fraternal? Sorry.
So regardless, my first point was if you lose a tube, you have two ovaries, one tube. The
Two
other
ovaries, one
the
tube.
ovary without a tube can use the other tube to release an egg,
Yeah, I don't know.
which is crazy. To
I
me.
don't think that's possible.
It is. I believe me.
I think that one ovary can still. It's like two testicles. It's just inside out testicles.
No, but they're not connected, so I don't know how the egg gets
Yeah.
over there, but it does, which is crazy.
I'm
Then
not-
the twins
I'm not
thing, you can
either.
either have the one egg, which is identicals,
Mhm.
the two eggs, which is fraternals, but then my buddies were triplets, so it must have been two eggs that one split in half. So then I guess the girl would have been identical to the boy, which is kind of gross to think about.
That I don't. I mean, that I don't. I don't know
the
their
twins
situation.
eggs thing is crazy, but
Yeah.
the tube thing freaks me out. I don't know how the egg gets over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
There's got to be
I went to Catholic
some
school.
tube
You think I know that kind
over.
of shit?
Like
So-
a
They
top
don't teach
tube.
that there.
No, they don't do that shit.
There's not too many tubes.
As a pro people having kids guy, you should probably
You should probably get on that.
do some research.
Yeah, figure that
Oh,
out.
crack that.
ASMR.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Look at those things. Blue as hell.
Did I miss
No,
anything?
don't do that. Billy.
Yeah, you missed some tube
Don't.
talk and some
Oh.
tumor
Yeah.
talk.
We did
awesome.
Although
we
it was
did
not a
the
tumor.
bone.
What time are we going?
Somebody found
Yeah.
a bone.
Oh yeah, I saw. I left. I had to go to the bathroom, but I left with the bone. Does it seem cool?
It looks like it's
Oh.
a steppe bison.
Yes, it is. But I mean, that means they're getting closer to the mammoths.
I have a feeling that they just dumped the steppe bison because the steppe bison are kind of just like bison.
We have the king of TikTok, and you have been killing it on YouTube Shorts, correct?
I
saw one of your
I
things.
had like one that just went astronomical.
Bananas viral. It was
Yeah.
the running up the pole.
Yeah, just
Everyone
like,
was like,
I
"Why'd you
wa-
call
I
that
watched
kid
that,
chubby?"
and I was like,
What'd
oh,
you
this
call-
is
I
Everyone
called
was
them.
like,
I was like, oh, like the participants range from doughy 13-year-olds and like
People
jacked
were like dying in the comments.
and tatted up dudes in their 30s, and like probably 50% of the comments are like, why'd you just bully a random 13-year-old?
Because I watched
But
YouTube
He
Shorts on my
was
laptop
doughy.
like a psychopath,
Yeah.
and it popped up, and I was like, oh, this is Donnie's video, and when I looked at the likes, I was like, oh my, this is like the most viral video I've ever seen.
Yeah,
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
seriously.
How many?
I still haven't figured out TikTok really, but maybe I can
It's so random.
I can
Just
have a
go-
couple
just do
tutor
it.
sessions with Jack Mack.
Oh yeah.
Jack Mack is the Don of TikTok.
Yeah.
And then we got Travi over here. You could always
Yeah,
talk with
true.
him. Who
Yeah.
he
He knows his shit as well.
sees probably the most TikToks out of anybody in the office outside of him, and probably maybe Robbie.
Yeah, I'd probably say like anything viral curation and stuff is me and Robbie, and then like Jack forefront. I mean, he sees everything on Twitter and then takes it to TikTok. So I think it's just like finding lane, but like your stuff's obviously good. Like it's like
Yeah.
I posted the same video that we're referencing that went viral on YouTube Shorts, and I think it did like 250K likes on the main account, which is like very good for anything that we're.
Donnie's videos from a social perspective are probably some of the best we get
Yes.
throughout the entire company.
It's
Because like the way you do them, they're so unique. Like I mean, obviously it's unique experiences, but the way you phrase them, and they're just cut amazing, and the content is amazing.
Thank you.
The basis of how like when you're doing like you do your content of like you're showing it in real time and then like with the captions over it, but it's like your explanation, so it's your story, so it's like cut in between like back and forth. like I would love for a lot of people to replicate it, but that style is like perfect for because you use that short form and then like make them watch the long form to like go into it. That's like the perfect method of like how at least like society has done social media now, from like long form to cut down to short form.
Yeah.
It's like short form. Now watch my long form. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
And funneling
They're
it up.
1 minute documentaries, basically.
Yeah, and good.
Yeah. I just have to find someone who's really good at that, who could help with the, because like I'll put together a 20-minute vid and then I'm like, oh shit, work's not done. Now I gotta cut like a really solid 1 minute clip of it.
It is how everything is now is really crazy. Just from that perspective of like the work doesn't stop because and then you have to cut them specific ways, and then you have to, and then YouTube Shorts are different than
And then if you throw on captions, it could get more views.
And then and there's probably an aspect there where it's like, it takes away from the joy of the creation, that it's like, I think some people are like, I'm okay sacrificing 10 to 20% more views by just being like, all right, this is it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But there is unlimited upside with a lot of... The crazy thing about TikTok, at least to me, is you could have the lamest hobby in the world and it could pop off. Like there's people who are like...
Have you seen the guy with the 9 to 5?
Oh, well, that guy makes his life seem depressing. That's a scary ass video. I feel like... Did you see that video?
No.
There's this guy on TikTok who's like, follow this 28-year-old with a normal 9 to 5
He's
job.
like in the Matrix.
Right. And he basically just like films his day of like getting up, making coffee, going to work, working in a cubicle, going home, like doing a little workout, and then like watching TV, and just puts like a little sad music behind it and just posts it. It gets like 500,000 views because everyone's like, oh, this is so me, bro.
Yeah.
No,
it's,
a lot
it's
of
very
crazy.
relatable content.
I got to Twitter and a lot of people are like, this is my nightmare. Like this
also,
is and then there's people in the replies who are a little bit older. They're like, no, this is a pretty good life.
Yeah.
And the guy who makes them is like, no, I actually like this.
Okay.
He's not making it for
But there's no like extra.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is what I do today.
And then like on Saturday, it's like,
Does
yeah,
he
I'm
go
meeting
out?
up with some friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he'll be like, oh, tonight I like went to a bar.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's like, here's my kid, or here's my dog.
Here's my dog, yep.
Oh.
It's
But
crazy.
a lot of people are like, this is my nightmare. And then someone like quote tweeted or put it out there, and it got like thousands upon thousands of retweets. It was like, I watched this and started crying.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch a series where like some employee at the company goes back to the cubes, something like that.
yeah.
So like someone who's been at Barstool for at least 5 years, and then you just call the series Back to the Cubes, and he just has to work like a very normal mundane job for maybe like a month. I think he would.
Undercover boss, but it's just like for the low level employee.
Yeah.
Just go like be an accountant.
I literally
Yeah.
the only way I was able to function in society was high doses of ADHD medication. That's how I was able to even go through school. And my favorite part about this job is that I don't have to take my meds and people reward me for it.
Well, that's almost like, that goes really deep. It's like, why? You know, like not you.
Yeah.
I'm talking in general. There's a lot of people like that. Why have we created a society where that is it?
So in hunter-gatherer societies, once they transfer to agricultural societies, there's a lot of individuals that get like their dopamine chasing brains. Basically, they show all the signs of ADHD. Like I found this one article that people with certain genes who like have ADHD, it's like adapted to a different like type of lifestyle.
And what kind of lifestyle? The hunting?
Like hunting.
Yeah.
Like just
People with ADD are hunters and
It's a
gatherers at
constant
heart.
purpose,
they're,
right?
they're not farmers.
Oh, because you need the constant thrill.
Like there's
like-
always something to
Yeah.
focus on with if you're hunting something.
Yeah.
With your agriculture and you like do the thing and then it's over, and you kind of sit there. You have nothing to do. There's no
That's
purpose.
the 9 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
9 to 5. You go home and then like,
Like what do I do now?
well, you watch TV or something, you know?
Right.
And then
But they get bored.
Right.
So let me find the exact.
I wonder, is that describe depression at all or no?
Yeah, hunter versus
So
farmer
obviously
hypothesis.
it's like outside of, well, not probably depression. Actually, yeah, definitely much more common than ADD, ADHD. But those are two of the biggest things like plaguing society, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The hypothesis proposes that ADHD represents a lack of adaptation of members of hunter-gatherer societies to their transformation into farming societies. Some actually also think that farming societies to sedentary lifestyles also have had the impact of ADHD. So that, like impulsiveness, even farmers have a hard time because they're always outside doing stuff with their bodies, that they have the impact of when they're sedentary and they're staring at a computer, they can't focus.
Oh, so
So it's like even
they're
another
like,
step.
I need to do something, but
Yeah.
that staring at a computer doesn't help them.
Yeah. So because there's like two levels. There's hunter-gatherers who aren't able to adapt, and then there's people who used to work with their bodies now
Right.
having to sit
It's
down,
all fidgety.
and they can't adapt
Yeah,
either.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about a Zuckerberg, a guy who like just looks at a computer screen, or like high level coders? What's that? Maybe I'm asking for
Yeah.
billions of answers,
Yeah.
but
I guess they're the ones they well, as we all know, Mark Zuckerberg is a absolute demon on the jiu-jitsu mat.
Mhm.
If
no,
you haven't
but
heard.
he didn't get choked out.
Didn't get choked
He
out.
did not.
Did
What
not.
did he just complete with his like daughters? It was like
Oh, yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, he did the
Murphy.
thing on Memorial
yeah,
Day.
yeah,
The
yeah.
It was
Murph.
like a mile, then like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and then
Yeah.
you do it again. A Murphy challenge.
Murphy.
Yeah, the Murph.
The Murph, I think
The
it's
Murph.
called.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love his Jocko Willink transformation.
Yeah,
He's
like
Jocko now, yeah.
Awesome.
he's
He's David
trying to-
Goggins.
Yeah, he's like, these people are gonna, when the uprising comes, they're gonna kill me and eat
Mhm.
me if I do not show that I'm Joe Rogan.
I
bro,
think
like.
he's achieved so much financial and corporate success that the only thing that really makes him feel something is high levels of physical
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can get him, like, legitimately. It's the scary thing of, like, if you ultimately win at the top of the top,
What else is there to do?
what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Just
What's the purpose?
build your
Start
body.
hanging
What does
out
Tom
with
Brady do
Jeffrey
now?
Epstein.
Well, he does TV.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. He
I
does TV now, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't understand super rich people who just don't go away and chill.
Well, it's the desire of being constantly doing stuff.
well, the reason they got to that level, for the most part, is because they don't
Yeah.
want to chill ever.
Yeah.
And it's a gift and a curse, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, you got all this money, but like, you can't sit still.
I mean, if I got a chunk of change, I'd literally just go build. Like, I'd go away from the public, and I'd just because
But you say that, and then like, let's say you did do that, like you'd get bored.
no, but I'd like have my own projects. I have a lot of projects I want to do in my head that
Yeah.
that don't include that don't include like meddling in the broader world. Just
I'd be
like
curious to see if you did like a month by yourself somewhere, like how you'd come back.
I wouldn't be by myself. I'd definitely I'd have people with me, like a family.
So you're just saying I would just have a house, basically.
I'd do projects. I'd like
Yeah.
build a chicken coop. I'd like, build fencing and just like, because there is the
Build
psychological.
fences.
Yeah. I'd like,
Okay.
I just like some of the most fun I've had in my, like the best work satisfaction I've ever had is when I'm building stuff with my hands. And then at the end of the day, you look at what you accomplished that day and you can see all of it. And there's something psychological about that like a lot of workers don't get much satisfaction anymore in their work because they can't see the results.
Right.
Where that's why people who work in trades industries tend to have less
Mental health issues.
less mental health issues. They do have, that is debated, but like as opposed to, people living sedentary lifestyles because they're using their bodies. They, at the end of the day, they get the, dopamine and
They're being human
satisfaction.
beings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They can be human. So I would just build stuff in my backyard
Yeah.
and,
That's awesome.
and work with tools and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you just said he would get bored.
I'm saying, but like the way you phrase it, which is how I see people phrase it, sometimes it's like, oh, if I had like $1 billion, like I would go like live in the middle of nowhere and do like whatever I wanted. And I like that, like if you wanted to go live in like some mountain community with like a neighborhood,
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
fine.
that's what I'm saying.
But if you were like, oh, I'm gonna go like live somewhere where nobody else is
I'm
around,
not going to do into
whatever,
the
like-
wild,
Right.
but who there's that
no,
really
you're just explaining retirement.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I'd have tons of animals. I
Right.
really want Highland cattle because they're basically gigantic dogs.
They're so cute.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a Highland cattle?
So they can be trained like a dog.
No, but they have personalities, and I just I get livestock dogs, and I just like
Yeah, my buddy from college has a place in Connecticut. His parents do, and it's got alpaca. That was sweet.
I actually got into a standoff with an alpaca 2 weekends ago.
You just stood there.
Wait, are alpaca like llamas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they spit. They're
Oh
little
yeah,
vicious.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
they've
cool as
got
hell.
they've got like a fro.
Yeah, but he had a whole little like thing like you would like, Billy. He had like a gun range,
Yeah.
basketball court,
Perfect.
alpaca little area.
I just invite my friends to play pickup
yeah,
every day.
I mean, you just want to be retired
Yeah.
with a lot of money.
But I wouldn't stop doing things. I don't know.
No, you just don't want to work and have a bunch of money, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get there one day.
yeah.
Live, golf.
Yep.
I don't know what I can provide, but just give me a bag for nothing. No. But yeah,
I
frequency-
would like to see you work in the cubes for a month.
I did, dude. I went nuts.
Oh,
What'd
you
you do,
did?
Yeah, I was working. I was bundling mortgages at a real estate.
Wait, did you
I did it-
graduate from Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you dropped out of Williams to come
No,
back
no.
here.
I worked a couple. I graduated while working here. That's why when I first came back, everyone thought I was lazy, but I was like completing school, but like try to get here on time.
Oh,
They let you do
okay,
Williams from here?
What?
They let you do that from here?
That just during pandemic.
COVID.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
was-
when did you graduate college?
21.
Oh, you're my year?
Yeah.
Jake, you didn't know
Oh,
that?
I did not know that. I thought you were older
Yeah.
than me.
No.
Oh,
Yeah. I feel old though. I'm 24.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like-
how old are you, McKenna? Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't feel old at all.
No, I feel like I'm halfway through my 20s, and I'm like, what? Where the fuck
Nah,
did the time go?
That's such a 24-year-old thing to say.
Although
Yeah.
I will say I did play in a tournament over Memorial Day weekend, and one of the attackmen asked me how old I was, and I said 24, and he said, "Damn," and he was 18, and I felt
Yeah.
old. I felt really old then.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Because I was 18 once, and I would have said the exact same thing, and now I am 24, which is crazy.
Like when I'm playing pickup and I'm like meeting dudes, and one dude's like, "Yo, I'm 19." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
yeah.
Also, speaking of Zuckerberg, he went to my high school.
Really?
Fun fact, yeah.
Is there
Weirdo.
like a statue of him or anything?
There's a
like that?
plaque in his dorm room of like, this is Zuckerberg's room,
Oh, okay.
which was a little weird.
That is weird.
We have some weirdo. Andrew Yang went to my high school.
Okay.
The other guy, Tom Sawyer, who was the Democrat?
Tom Sawyer?
No, the other Tom Steyer. He also ran for president.
You ever see that video of
Yeah,
Mark
there's some
Zuckerberg
weirdos.
throwing spears?
Hmm?
There's videos of Mark Zuckerberg throwing
Well, so
spears.
what Zuckerberg does is now that he's so rich, like each year he has a new challenge. So one year the challenge was he was only going to eat meat that he kills himself.
Yeah.
So he like learned how to slaughter goats. One year it was learn Chinese. And then one year was maybe learn how to use that like e-foil surfboard thing that he was always on. And now this year it's probably jujitsu.
Yeah. But it's crazy how Facebook was just a front for the government to collect their information, and he was just a great figurehead for them to choose. This is true.
But I thought
This
he
is true. We covered this. Palantir. Yeah. It was like what's his face? The guy who invested in it, I forget his name.
Justin Timberlake.
English guy, gay,
Thiel?
Palantir. Yeah, Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
Thiel. Like he just got a huge government defense contract. That's why the shares went through the roof. There was never that much profitability out of just doing ads and, having a huge social network. It was the government buying the information and selling it was where all the money was to be made. But yeah,
Cool.
it's front. So yeah, frequency of ADHD in nomadic tribes. Turns out in nomadic group in Kenya, hyperactivity and impulsivity, key traits of ADHD, have distinct advantages to nomadic peoples. Additionally, nomadic peoples have high rates of genetic mutation linked to ADHD, whereas farming populations have lower rates of this mutation. The DRD4 and DRD2 genes. Yeah. Some people are just built different.
Yeah.
What was your dosage?
I think
on,
I probably am.
ADHD pills when you were taking them, and which one?
I only take it for studying and taking tests.
So, answer my questions.
Just depends. We messed around here and there.
What did they prescribe you?
The Concerta when I was in middle school, but then I was like, fuck that shit. I turned into a robot,
Okay.
and then just went to Adderall
What number?
as needed. I was hitting 30s.
Damn. You really
Dude.
fucked up.
Yeah, dude, I was.
God.
Yeah, I
damn.
mean,
Dude,
I
I was
got
hitting 30s.
30s is a lot.
Dude, yeah.
Oh my God. You were doing that every day? Or
No,
for
just when I
studying?
needed them. But it's so weird when I take it, I fucking chill out.
Adderall's the best drug ever.
I get
invented.
sleepy.
It's crazy.
It like makes me sit and like able to do shit. It's weird.
I got prescribed it at a very young age too, and I remember just in high school, even though I think I was prescribed it maybe 5th or 6th grade, but in high school I would never eat my lunch, and like my parents were always like, "Oh, you didn't touch your lunch. Like, what's up with that?" And they just thought they were packing really shitty lunches, and I used to like way less, and it was just because Adderall was completely taking
Dude.
my appetite away, but when I went to a lower dose, the appetite came back. I think I was just like
Big pharma
jacked up, way too high on it.
trying to dull our alpha hunter gatherer
Yes.
instincts
No, it's a,
down.
it's a big
Yeah.
problem, especially with like the young kids today. Like
Yeah.
every girl in my high school or my sister's high school, who's I guess 3 years younger than I am, like every girl had antidepressants. Every boy was hooked on Adderall.
That's not true.
no, if at her school.
100%.
No, but it was like all of her friends.
Antidepressants.
All of her friends were on like Prozac and shit like that.
Like okay, that
Well,
sounds
the
like
birth
15%
the birth
of our
control they're
friends.
getting
No.
on antidepressants because the birth
She was
control
like
makes
the
them
odd girl out
depressed.
without the Prozac, and she was like,
I am
"Your
with-
Prozac."
Based
Ba-
Billy
yeah,
football.
ba-
No,
yeah,
no, no,
let's,
no, no,
let's
no.
talk about birth
No,
control.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, birth control should be banned from society.
What?
Okay, well,
My fiance hasn't been on birth control for years.
It
I've
changes
had to pull out.
women.
Have you been?
It changes
Have you
their
been-
hormones. Have you
tough.
looked into how
Yeah, how they
like
they like beta
if
dudes.
you
No, I
think
know what you're about to
you
say.
should marry somebody,
Yeah.
you should get off birth control for a
for like
year.
for a year,
And
because
you
then
may like even the smell
Mhm.
because it changes how you smell things will
Yeah,
change if you like the
you
person.
don't
Yeah.
like alphas.
Everybody's on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
No, it's like it's crazy.
We don't
I
want
know.
to be pregnant.
I know
right now.
I know so many girls. Obviously, I'm not even close to being married right now or anything, but like I know so many girls that are like, I was on birth control. I met my boyfriend. We started dating. You know, yada yada. We got off. I could not even stand to look at him after
Yes.
I got off. of
You
it.
just get the ick.
It's hilarious.
well, it's your
Because-
hormones are
Wrong.
like
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
They change them.
Yeah, and so
so
I-
men just needs to be better.
yeah,
No.
and I
Nah,
like,
y'all gotta first stop having sex. Like, like second, like I mean, like stop coming in people. Like it's so
it's so
easy.
true.
Like it's so easy.
Zion
like,
Williamson.
Like yeah,
So
like
hard.
stop coming
Not
in
that
people. Guys.
hard.
Like use a condom and then like yeah, obviously there are still instances, but it's much lower. Now I get it.
Or
I
just
get it.
pull out.
And then they
pull-out method
psyop
is
you. Oh, it also
solid.
helps lower your chances of cancer. Okay, first of all, let's be honest. You're changing the exact makeup of society
Yeah.
with birth control, and they're like, well, it helps lower your chances of cancer. It's like, come on, guys. They're psyoping all of us.
Yes.
No, there's like a
the
like
spokesperson for women.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I think it gives them all digestive issues because
no, that's in everything. No,
That's
no, no,
every-
no, 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 no,
they're-
no, no, no,
everyone's-
no.
Girls
my
have stomach
tummy hurts.
issues.
My tummy
My
hurts.
stomach hurts all the that's
No.
that's a no.
That's a high
Those
They're
are just
drinking
cramps.
kombucha.
Those are just wait,
Busha.
because
What?
when you're on birth control, you don't have a period at all, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's how I.
Oh, I
that's how
thought.
you know
It's
like
just
you're
like
not
at the same
pregnant.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
It's
way
scheduled,
more
yeah.
routine.
way
so
more
it's every
routine.
28
Okay.
days.
All right. Yeah.
Sugar pills.
So those are
period
just
pill would go
menstrual
crazy.
cramps.
They
You
have
can't.
that.
No. You
They do?
can't. So Jake,
Speaking of the
you
mic.
can if you're on birth control. So birth control pills for the 95% male audience that we have. There's 4 weeks in a birth control pack if you get the pill. I'm not. We're talking pill. 3 weeks of it are the hormones, and then the last week is the sugar pills. That's when you're supposed to be on your period. If you just go and skip it, you can just go move on to your next pack. Then you don't get a period. So you can just go week, like 3 week pack, move on to the next pack.
Does that really fuck you up though?
Wait, can you do that?
I don't know if it's
That's
safe.
kinda
Girls in my
terrifying.
my
I don't think
sorority.
it's safe.
No,
Sounds
girls in
really
my sorority
unhealthy.
would do it all the time because they were like, oh, like I have a date party this weekend, or I'm going on like a first date this weekend, and I don't want to be on my period for it, I'll just skip the sugar pill and go straight to the next pack.
That's so unnatural.
Yes.
God.
And so, but that would, if like people
Well, you're
would do
already
that.
past the unnatural point because you were literally
Well.
changing your biology.
True.
But
It is
Yeah.
At
pretty
that point,
crazy
you're playing
how
God with yourself.
And you're playing God, and
That's
it's also like
crazy.
it's also like
This is
that's
too many
so
men
much hormones.
talking about
Yeah.
birth
Also
control, I
like
have to
also like
say.
if you are a girl that's doing that and you're like you have a boyfriend or something, like I'd be nervous that I wasn't getting the like, yep, not pregnant.
Right. It's
You
a
know what
good
I mean?
Checkpoint every
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, it's
You're
like-
hey,
it's like a-
another one.
Did
Right.
it.
For
Yeah.
everything, for everybody that we're talking about, I mean, you see some crazy stuff on TikTok of girls being like, "I didn't know I was pregnant." Now I
Yeah,
have
no,
a
that shit
baby."
scares the fuck. Have you seen Frat Baby on TikTok?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, that shit scares the fuck out of me.
Frat
Dude.
baby just rizzed up Livy Dunn.
Frat Baby's
Wait,
a girl.
I have not seen Frat Baby. I assume is that just like
baby that
one of
lives
the
in a frat?
one kid in the frat had a baby and now they're raising it in the frat?
So a girl had a haptic, I think it's haptic pregnancy, where you have no symptoms. And so she was like, I lost 30 pounds. She's like, I didn't know I was pregnant. I lost 30 pounds. I had a flat stomach. I had no symptoms. And then she was like, I thought I had appendicitis, showed up at the hospital 15 minutes later. I was mom. And she was like 19.
That's
And
wild.
so she was like, it was like some frat dude that I went to a date party with or something. And she was like, now it's like everyone that I go
That's
to college with,
terrifying.
like, semi-raises this baby with me. That's my worst.
I mean, that's how I
fucking fear.
raised my dog, kind of, and he turned out great.
What?
thing.
But
Same
you didn't.
thing,
You
though,
knew
yep.
the dog was
Yeah.
coming,
Yeah,
and also
It takes a
Whitey
village.
is as much as Whitey is the best dog ever. Like he's not a human.
yeah, but like,
You didn't do it. You didn't do that on accident.
I know. No, that was a bad joke, but
But yeah, no, birth control sucks.
I mean, if you got a good pair of earmuffs for the baby, like you could have a great college experience while taking the baby around.
Nope. You
Okay.
definitely couldn't.
Joking. It's a bad joke.
Okay.
It's bad. But yeah, no, Jack Mac, Billy, all of you are based on that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but like, it's just so crazy how it's. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment too much on it. But it's no. What is crazy is that you can be on birth control and then you find like, familial dudes like prepubescent type dudes more
Oh.
attractive.
What?
No,
Jack
no.
Mac knows what I'm talking about.
No, when
Yeah,
you're
he
on
already
the
explained
pill.
it though.
No, what like there's when you're on the pill, who you find attractive is much different,
Right.
and like
Why is Billy saying I'm to like 12-year-olds?
Yeah.
Because you.
because
that's why.
it's a lot more pre.
Well, it
like
depends. It's not like,
like, you-
specific to
it's-
that.
no.
No,
That's
it's-
why like
it
they
could yeah like what you smell like
Harry Styles.
yes the
Like-
reason like
yeah.
there could be a very I
Just
would
But he's
say
not prepubescent. I
Justin
don't know what you mean
Bieber.
by prepubescent. They're all
They look
adults.
like that.
Oh, they look like that.
instead of like the beefy male.
Kind of like
With a
Sean Connery
beard.
from back in the day.
yeah, like Billy football, like
Yeah.
Billy
I have-
football.
Dan
would be Harry's-
Blazarian.
Oh, so Billy's getting no bitches because of birth control?
That
Damn.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Actually,
That's what it is.
That's tough for
exactly.
you.
Billy, you do kind of
That's
have a
exactly.
baby face, though.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you could go
who
both
knows?
ways.
I've looked like this since I was 12.
Yeah.
With,
I can
seriously.
picture that with you like the
Just
exact
skinny-
same size head.
Yeah, like with it was blessing and a curse.
But yeah, if your girlfriend is on birth control and your or fiance, like they should get off of it before you guys get married.
No, 100. I 100%.
My fiance
agree.
has
That is
been off
funny.
it
I
for
didn't know that.
Yeah,
a
so
couple
she-
Are you
years
sure
now.
she
Okay,
loves
then
you?
So-
you're
No,
good.
Donnie, she really likes you.
Does she
then.
still
Yeah.
like you? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, she loves you for real.
That's good.
But when we first started dating, I think she was on it, and then
Oh.
she went off it
You must be
and
that
still
great.
likes me.
She likes her
Perfect.
hormones.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Either way.
You just
Yeah,
shaved
good.
a lot.
Alpha male.
You just
confirmed.
shaved a lot.
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Now I have to shave way more often.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
But
think
yeah, it's
the
wild.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Taking Adderall changes me too. I probably like completely different things when I'm on a lot of Adderall.
But it's
I don't
different because Adderall's not affecting like your hormones
it
and like your
is,
inner.
though.
No, well,
But it's like your
so-
like
yeah.
your personal who you are. Like
I
I've
think-
been on it and not on it, and it's like you are a different person in your brain.
It's insane.
Well, I think when you're taking a lot of Adderall, it starts to kill your sex drive.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
it lowers
Yeah.
your T 100%.
But I mean, the birth control is the biggest aspect of this because, I mean, like think about the human body, right? It's been not perfected, but through our evolution,
Mm-hmm.
it's been perfected enough for us to like continue to live and reproduce and whatnot at a pretty high rate and all of that. Obviously, modern medicine has helped, but you then put something in your body that completely changes it.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And it's crazy that like like there's not really like there's no really better option.
Well, there is.
What, like not having sex?
Well, yeah, or I mean, you can have sex and not like comment.
Yeah, but you never know.
Like,
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like in terms of like a medicinal.
But that's on the guy.
That's also on the
Yeah,
guy.
you know what's crazy?
No,
Men
correct.
stand up.
No, it should be, but like both the guy and the girl should agree. Like, hey,
Right, but the girl doesn't have a choice if he
the
just
guy-
does it.
In some,
that is true. But then that that is true.
It's also you pick who it is. You guys get to choose
Yeah.
who you're
Oh my
fucking with.
god. Okay.
No,
So
but
it is
I'm,
your choice.
I'm just saying.
I trust this person enough to not get me pregnant. That's your decision
Fair,
before he
fair
does
point.
it.
And
Fair
this goes,
point.
all comes back to like we just like throw around sex. Like, yeah, man, I fucked 150 girls. Like, let's fucking go. It's like, wait, that's not like, I don't know.
There's also other risks other than pregnancy too that have nothing to do with
100%,
birth
100%.
control.
But those risks are
So,
there
yeah.
even when you're on birth
No,
control.
but
No, I know.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
so in the Library of Alexandria, that burned down
Yeah.
when the Mong
Yeah.
was it the Mongol? No, who burnt down the Library of Alexandria?
Who's ready
The
for the
Arabs,
gay
no,
I
bash,
believe.
guys?
Wait,
So-
no,
No, it was someone.
I don't want to.
How
It was
far do
some
you think
barbarian.
civilization would be along if that never burned down?
Oh
or
my
is
god!
that a psyop?
I think that the Library of Alexandria. I think there is literally another civilization of humans or something else living on this earth that avoided all major extinction events, and they're driving the UFOs.
Oh, it was burned by Julius Caesar.
Oh, fucker.
What
That
a
fucker.
fucking
Nah,
Dude,
asshole.
He's a demon.
Anyway, in that library, there was evidence of a plant that was birth control that
How
the
did we
Romans
know?
used. Because there's record, something about the library, but basically there was record of a plant that was over harvested to the point where it went extinct in the wild. That was the Romans used as birth control.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry. Can you?
yeah. There's a
There's-
plant
Oh yeah.
that they had back in the day that the Romans used as birth control. But because it was so sought after, it went extinct because everyone was fucking and taking it. And the Library of Alexandria had that plant like stored in like a seed
Oh,
bank. They were doing like seed bank type shit too in the library. And
Damn.
it got burnt down. Yeah.
I've heard Alexandria is not really a fun place to visit these days.
Yeah. Wait, which
Probably, yeah.
Alexandria
God's
was it
probably still
in?
mad at us.
It was
Egypt?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Because there's Alexandria, Turkey. There's Alexandria.
yeah,
The Greeks got all
started-
the way to fucking Afghanistan.
yeah,
Dude,
and to India.
there was like this one place in Afghanistan that special forces operator was talking about on some podcast that like is a whole Greek city because everyone who got banished went there.
Yeah,
Greek.
the Bactrian Greeks. That's
Yeah.
like the term. Yeah, and then
Crazy.
yeah, they're probably still out there. So probably some people from Afghanistan still have Greek genes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you know we invaded Iraq because there's a Stargate that Saddam had possession of? That was the weapon of mass destruction.
No, but that's what you guys talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
on. Yeah. the
Yeah,
Greek-
it's like we
okay.
already
Well,
covered
all
this.
right.
I'm really deep in this conspiracy.
Yeah,
What's
there's too much.
Stargate?
It's
Just listen
Yeah.
to
the
the episode.
Anunnaki.
From
They're,
yesterday.
they're these half god, probably aliens, and there's this guy named Gilgamesh who was probably half alien, and he could use the Stargate. So they found his, his tomb, and it's a whole thing. And Saddam
Yep.
had it, and then we invaded the whole thing.
Yeah. There. Oh yeah. I don't know what I wanted to say, but yeah, Afghanistan was.
This has been
Greek.
really fun, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
It
it's
Quick,
Greek.
before we go,
Took an
I don't think we're
turn.
going.
before,
How
We
much?
are.
How
We're
much?
going.
How much?
We're
time-
going.
How much
Before
we
we
go?
go,
How much time do we got on that chip?
We have
Real-
12 minutes.
Okay, we're
real
No,
quick,
we're not.
should I live with Jersey Jerry or
No.
Yes. Living
Yeah.
with-
I
Quick
think,
poll of the room.
No.
yeah.
Yes.
I think so. Say
Here's
like
this. I'll set the scene
we're
for
gonna
what
deal
it
with
is.
him for like a 3 months and like a 3
He
month.
says 6 month minimum, which I can do. That's
6 month works.
because I'm gonna be working like crazy for the first 5 anyway.
Do you have
Yeah,
your
okay.
your own toilet?
So the way the house is, it's a dentist office.
Yeah.
So basically, with the way it's
You
set
got
up
like
is
6 sinks for
it's
yourself.
a double level house with a garage, and then like if you're looking at the house, it's like a longer first floor and like a shorter top floor. So it's stacked 2 floors. The bottom left corner of the house is a separate entity from the house. So it's like a side entrance its own like bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So-
yeah,
So it's basically like an
own
apartment
apartment.
inside
I
Jerry's
think
house.
I think you do that 100%.
So it's like 45 minutes away from the office to an hour from the office, which is pretty far. It's a
Where-
lot
is
cheaper
it-
in rent than it would be if I lived in my apartment in the city.
Is
Yeah.
it in Chicago or is it
It's
like
in
a
Arlington
suburb?
Heights.
Okay.
Are you gonna have your own car?
I'm debating getting a car. I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to have Jerry drive me to work sometimes and take the
Yeah.
train maybe.
True.
So remember, Jerry's got a baby.
Correct, which I did say I would babysit and do the. He said $1,000 in garbage, so I'm happy to do that.
You also said that
Also-
you would watch them fuck.
Yeah, yeah. But
What happens if a girl trusts you to not get her pregnant and you take her home?
You
Well, I
gotta
would
play
play a
away
road
games.
game.
Oh, road
Yeah,
games.
yeah, road game.
You wouldn't take a
easily.
girl back to Jersey
No,
Jerry's?
no.
This is the easiest no in the
Jerry
history
wouldn't
of
care
no's.
if you
Oh,
brought
why?
a girl.
Because
Living
first of
with
all, what are
Mitch
you
was
saving?
fun.
$500 a month?
No, like 1,200.
$1,200
Which
a
is
month.
a lot.
Yeah, but
I-
like what? I don't think. But your quality of life seems like it's going down.
Yeah, I feel like
You're
at
45
your
minutes to an
age,
hour
yeah.
with-
Do it. Do
I
it.
feel like
I
if
feel
you
like
for
at
6
your age,
months,
you're gonna
do
want
it
to
for the
live in
content.
like
Right,
downtown
also
do it,
Chicago.
yeah. I lived with Mintz for the content,
It's
and
also
it paid
hilarious
off.
to live with Jerry for 6 months, which would be awesome.
Like Ben Mintz was.
This is Sean.
Yeah,
I-
it's hilarious when you.
It's more just like if you're trying to go out
Alright, you know what,
late
do it.
on like a Friday or a Saturday night, are you just gonna have to take like
I was gonna
a-
say,
like,
I
that's-
don't
an
really
hour
do that
Uber
now
home
anyway,
every-
and like I live in like the cool part of Manhattan, so I feel like I'm not gonna really.
So if you're just
You're
trying
just
to focus
lame.
on work those first 6
Right,
months,
exactly.
I think it's great.
I
You
don't
can
think
maybe
it's that
save
great.
some
But
money.
what about when
Hey,
you have to
come
go
on.
to the office when Jersey Jerry's not going to the office?
Well, there's a train. You take the train.
Yeah.
Or like I just met one of the sales guys from Chicago who lives around there, and Che lives around there. Like they're all living within like the same half mile. Get a ride.
You gotta do it for the content. Living with Mincy was a very fun experience. Coming home
Yeah,
when you're
sounds
out
like
late.
it was awesome.
No, coming home late at night.
Sounds like my actual hell.
No. Coming home late at night and finding Mincy on the couch watching a jam band on TV, like on shrooms,
He'd be
was
in
some
your
of the
apartment?
funniest. Yeah.
I thought he was sober.
Actually, I shouldn't have said that.
We'll cut it.
Alcohol sober.
I know it was
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Cal-
he talks about it all the time.
Actually, no, yeah.
So the vibe in here is yes.
Yeah.
no,
uh-huh,
it's no.
do
It's
it.
the
Yeah.
easiest no.
Do
ever.
it. Do it for
It
the
is kinda
stories,
far,
bro.
Yeah.
So we have 1 yes, 2 yes,
You know how many times
3
No.
no. Trev. I think. So
No,
yeah,
no,
Split
from-
room, so it's my decision.
from
yet
a
again.
from a
We
career
were no help.
perspective, I mean, just even
Well,
talking
he's
about
not
it
a
got you on the
content
air.
guy. He's like, unless you want to do that. I
No,
mean,
I
if
don't.
if you want to go get into content, this could be a great way to do it. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's really the hinge of the crux of the position.
I'm happy to like.
You wouldn't have to do be
No, exactly.
content.
There's
You
a
just have to-
baby in the house.
But it's kind of
That's
he's
so
kind of in a
fun.
separated
It's a separate.
section.
It's not like I'm living in the bedroom next door to the baby. Like it's my
Well,
own little
I would
place.
literally.
No,
That
but
would be
think
the
about it.
selling point for me.
Just be like,
I
yo,
would just hang out
No,
with the
that sounds
baby.
like
Start-
my own personal nightmare.
take possession of the
You're
baby.
the one who wants everyone to
No, but I'm saying like
procreate.
if it was like the room next door to the child,
Oh,
that sounds
yes,
terrible. But
yes,
having like my
yes.
own little space sounds fine.
Jake, be like, hey, this is this baby I take care of. You're at the bar.
Right,
You're,
exactly.
like shooting
I live.
game.
I'm like
Yeah,
a
it's like that
little-
movie.
I'm
You
like
wanna-
an au pair.
Perfect.
You haven't seen a baby in a long time. You want to come home and check out the baby?
Look at this baby I live with. Just
Look
show
at
us on
this
pictures.
baby. Look, yeah, dude. If
The
they
women is the last of my problems.
Baby
on
Gronk
this.
just
wrist up.
nah, he just
Taylor
was at
Swift.
Purdue. He's on a
Nice.
visit
Wow,
to
verbal
Purdue.
Boilermaker.
Okay,
Not
and
enough.
on that
Not enough
note-
chicks at Purdue for baby Gronk.
He said Baby Gronk had a breeze at Purdue.
What?
Because
Oh, Drew
Wait.
Brees.
Drew Brees, he went
Oh,
to
I thought you
Purdue.
said
Oh,
a breeze.
yeah,
Yeah, you
I
thought.
th-
Yeah,
I thought you said a
did,
bris.
yeah.
I was like, he just got circumcised.
Congrats to Baby Gronk.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats, baby Gronk.
All right.
All right, is it time to go drink with the gays?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go drink with the gays.
Let's do it.
Bro thinks he's Triple H from WWE.
Yeah.
We should do an episode at some point on Afghanistan. Not like
Yes.
the war, but just like on
In
the
general.
ancient history.
Oh,
yeah.
I took a whole class about the Anglo-Afghan War.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Crazy. One of those
It
words
goes
you
way
keep
back.
forgetting
Get
about.
off birth control.
Okay.
And
Yep.
start
Shout
picking,
out Baby
and
Gronk.
start picking your sexual partners a lot more
Yep.
vigorously. Like,
Facts.
come on,
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah. This is Jack Mac platformed. Any other messages you have to the people?
Find God. I mean, it's like you guys, society's. Yeah, if you want to find God, yeah.
I have some things.
Is that the number one
No.
problem, like in our current society?
No, I think. I mean, I think it could fix a lot of things, but like my number one problem. I mean, I don't know.
This could go another
Yeah, I
hour.
know.
Yeah, no,
My,
we need to cut that off.
My
Yeah, yeah.
my last message is exercise.
Oh yeah.
Lift
Good.
heavy weights.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Lift
yeah.
heavy things.
Nice.
Lift heavy thing, make mind happy. Try to reconnect with the universal sound. Get in nature.
Be nice. Be nice.
Nature
Nice.
is God.
Yeah. Everything you put in,
I'm about to
you'll
just
get
stop
back.
recording.
If you don't believe in God, believe in nature.
No, we're not getting religious on everybody, but like
Yeah.
connect with the universe. Yeah, if you don't believe in God, connect
Yeah.
with the universal sound. I can literally speak to animals. I'm so connected with the universal sound.
Watch Czechs vs. Puerto Rico, 4 p.m. Eastern,
yeah.
June 22nd on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Woo.